second. Invite speaker co-host. Boom. Should give you a link right now that says either invite to co-host or invite to speaker. I don't know what the message will look like, but I'm invited into the co-host slot. Okay, now you're in the speaker slot. I'm trying to put you in the co-host slot, but I guess that'll work too. That works too. Invite to co-host. I should put a link on your screen that lets you move to the co-host slot. Make sure this is using my microphone too, so that I can hear you. I can't hear you yet. If you can hear me. Tap that on the microphone. Can you hear me? Okay, thumbs up. You just need to press your microphone button so that you can be able to hear me, or that I can be able to hear you all. Give me 1 second. I'm setting up the back end right now. Okay, let me send out this link again, and then we'll start. This link, this link, this link, this link, this link, a sublink with a thumbnail. And let me delete the last one since I know that it'll confuse people. Retweet this. And then you can retweet the rest of the things at your own leisure. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're tuned in to a special presentation because somebody decided to fuck around and is about to find the fuck out. Fortunately, they get to find out in stereo. So why are we here? Well, let me go down to the breakdown for you. I'm Carl. Yes, that Carl, single player Carl. I've been on the internet for a while. Many of you are aware of me and my mutuals that are being headasses on Twitter, now X.com. Joining me right now inside of a Twitter space is one of said mutuals, the other dad that's a part of the Solar Matrix, but he's ahead of me on kids. We can't afford more than one right now, so you'll have to win for now. And that's the Ebony Maw. Yes, that Ebony Maw. The Ebony Maw that you keep seeing getting clipped, retweeted, and quoted inside of a lot of videos and inside of a lot of callouts. He's got a very large account because realistically he doesn't actually put in all that much effort. He just retweets what he sees. But it's one of the many accounts many of you recognize. We've had a problem for the last, I want to say 8 years running. And that's amongst our mutuals, both male and female. We've had stalkers, we've had doxers, we've had impersonators, and we've had people who have catfished both their audience members as well as our friend circle. Today, one of those stalkers is about to find out live on camera because he believes that he's not on the radar of the people who are watching him. But, unfortunately, we're not the only people who have been watching him. So, I am proud to present to you that today we're going to be going through the logs of said user. Because we've told you once, we told you twice, we told you thousands of times, You should be able to speak. You're inside the speaker position. You just need to press the button that gives you the microphone. You might have to hold it, Ma, in order to speak. Unless your phone doesn't have a microphone button. It's somewhere on the program. It's like you might have to hold it if you're using Twitter Space on your phone. But we've told him once, we've told him thousands and thousands of times to leave our mutuals alone. And unfortunately, this young fine gentleman has a penchant of running away. And as you can see, you can also notice that he's starting to delete and move away from some of his behavior and some of his actions. These might actually just have been deleted by Maw, because these might be his posts. But this individual, Messy X Josh, is a serial stalker. And I'm now going to explain and show him exactly who he is. Who's that in my ear?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello. It took me so long to figure it out. I'm a millennial, but a boomer.
Boomer! You're a boomer! It's okay.
All right, no worries.
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
How you doing, Carl?
Today is Thursday at 5:37 p.m. My child is being looked after by the babysitter, and my baby's trying to figure out how she wants to move to a new place, but keep her dog at the same time. So a regular week for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Having kids is crazy, man. So he always is.
Said the man that has been just You've been breeding almost as fast as Pessimist has. And the only reason why Serenity is like slightly ahead of you is because she had a pair of twins too.
I don't know who Serenity is. Who's
Pessimistic.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember who that is. All right, go ahead.
You two are going band for band right now. You got 4 kids. She got 4 kids. It's just right now her pair of twins are. I think that's the pair that she's pregnant with right now.
Gotcha. I'm okay. Hold on. Hey, son. I'm talking to some people really quick. I'm still making you things. Okay. You said you wanted mac and cheese. All right. All right, you're gonna have to forgive me, Carl. I'm a bit multitasking right now.
No, it's okay.
Hold on a second.
We all multitasking, bro. Don't be mad.
All right, you said, okay, so it's a good, I can go ahead and retweet it real quick. There we go.
Yeah,
there we are.
You go ahead and give the backstory of what's been going on today.
Oh my gosh.
This week, and then I can take it from there. So all I'm gonna do is sit back and watch.
I mean, do you want me to tell you everything I know, or just like
yes, everything we know.
Okay? Well, you know who Tina is, right? Obviously, you know who Tina is.
Yeah, everyone knows actually Tina.
That's who. What's his name? I've already forgot his name. Like, he's so insignificant. Nikolas
Marshall Talbot.
This guy has been obsessed with her for like years. And for it was like, I'm trying to think. Basically, yeah, this guy's been obsessed with her for years. And from what I understand, it's because she insulted him about his like for Genshin Impact. Lots of guys get this idea, kind of have this thought in their brain when they're, lots of men and women, not just men, but like, something that isn't a big deal, but your pride has been hurt so much that you try to twist it into this big deal. That's and so you can't let it go and you make a mountain out of a molehill with everything. That's been my interpretation of this. So this has been going on for years. I've just been noticing it off and on throughout the years. And then one day I just decided, yeah, I'm just going to make fun of this dude because he's being a retard. And I did. And that was enough. That was enough to be on his list. It's the most pathetic thing in the world. And so I basically, maybe anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks of every month, every once in a while, like half of my tweets will get spammed with people demanding that I unblock people, and that with like names like Tina unblock this person, Kuzi unblock this person, Ebony unblock this person. I've had to have blocked about 50, 60, 70, maybe even 100 accounts from this guy. And basically, and the longer this has been going on, every once in a while I'll mock him. And this has caused his posts to get more and more deranged, like accusing me of some pretty heinous stuff. Hey, boys, don't crawl on the tip of the couch like that. You will get hurt. Thank you. All right. I lost my train of thought, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do like 3 things at once. So anyway, finally, one of our mutuals. If you want to know who, well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're mutuals with this person. I'm not going to name names. You can ask me in the DMs. This person was like, "Hey, I've got some information about him," and it was a bunch of pictures, and it was a video just mocking him and then showing his address at the very end. And then when I asked for further information, this person sent me a post of all of those phone numbers and email addresses and addresses and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa, hopefully this will make him stop if I threaten him. And to be honest, like, it makes some sort of difference, because as soon as I did that, instead of like spamming me with, "You're a horrible person, unblock these people that you've never blocked before," it was more of, "Oh, hey, no, Tina is harassing this person and Talbot and stuff like that," and like trying to like get me on his side or something. And I wasn't. As soon as I realized it was him, I wasn't buying it. So I just let him know. It's like, dude, like, this is strike 2 for you, buddy. If you don't stop, I'll post it. But me doing this was a little naive, because this Kiwi Farms has doxed this guy a couple times already. Like, what, I have a decent reach. I can dox him to like thousands of people who never do Kiwi Farms because they're not deranged enough to do Kiwi Farms. No offense to people who do Kiwi Farms. You just have to be you have to be a little deranged to do Kiwi Farms, in a loving way. I promise. So anyway, so I could show that, and then some people who wanted to have some fun can bother him, call his parents and say, hey, come get your son. But after a couple minutes of me posting that, I got the feeling that it just wasn't right, despite the fact that this guy has been like harassing people that we've known for years, and just unendingly just trying to paint people as harassers, pedophiles, rapists, stuff like that. I got this feeling, and every single time I get this feeling about a tweet that I post, I delete it, because I think the one time I decided to ignore that feeling, I ended up you know who Bunty King is, right?
Yes.
One time I ignored that feeling, and I took a joke that Bunty King made and took it seriously. I had this feeling that maybe I should delete it, and I didn't. And he found it, and he was able to like dance on my grave for a little bit. So ever since then, I'm like, if I get that feeling, get down right now. Get down right now. Don't. Hey.
Dadcore moments. I've been there too, chat. I've been there too.
You're going in timeout, okay? All right, I'm making you something, okay? I'm making you something, okay? Don't worry. So anyway, I'm gonna have to cut it short. I just got a call from the wife. I don't. But anyway, so that's basically it. And I don't know. I think I'm just gonna have to live with the fact that he's gonna obsessively spam my mentions with his hundreds of bot accounts, which is fine. Like, he can do absolutely nothing to me. Like, he can do absolutely nothing to the people that he's harassing. He's just mildly annoying and a menace, and probably shouldn't be around schools, from what I've heard about him and from what I've seen that he retweets. But it's the unfortunate thing is that he's he's one of those people where everything that happens to him he has to twist into something that's not his fault, even though it is his fault. And I've been there. I've been immature. I've taken things personally and had to justify why I was still mad at it after years. Thankfully, I got over that before I turned 20. But it's just it seems like this guy, whatever issues he has is going to prevent him from getting over it. And so I just have to live with the fact that he hates me, I guess, and I have to live with the fact that all my tweets will get spammed. I'll just hide and block. I'll get people going, hey, there's some schizo in your replies, and I'll just have to say, yeah, just block him. That's just what I'm gonna have to do from now on. It is what it is. I'm really more concerned about Tina, because Tina is his biggest obsession. And some of the last posts that he made about Tina was like, here's proof that he's harassing someone about their OCD. And it was banter.
Get out there for a bit.
So, I don't know.
Okay.
That's the big thing. Hey, I'm going to leave real quick. I'm going to hop back in about 5 minutes, okay?
No problem. Take your time.
All right, 1 second. Yep, 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ebony Maw. He is exactly as dadcore as you thought he was. Even more so. So, give me a few seconds. I need to send a couple of update tweets. And let me shut the mood. Make some background music for the pure moment. There we go. No reason to stress ourselves out while having no background music to make fun of a lol cow. Am I right? Right. Still sending some tweets. Give me a second. I don't know why it's so hard for me to find my one mutual's friend. Okay. What's up with my audio? What's wrong with the audio? Kind of low there on the mic, sir. Shouldn't be. There shouldn't be anything wrong with my microphone settings, Alex. I'm just gonna double check, because you're mentioning it. Because I do not want to have to do this again twice. Should be better now. One time only. Check, check, check. That's because he was on a Twitter space. Maw is calling in from a Twitter space while he's handling some things happening on the other thing. Well, I don't know that. I have to read in real time, guys. Anyways, that was the Ebony Maw. He is currently inside of his other place while he's working. No, he was talking about mine staff. He's working inside of his house dealing with his kids while working on another space. That's why he had to dip in and out, because he's currently on dad duty. My microphone setting maybe slipped down once or twice, and I fixed it now. Can't deal with anything else from that. Can't be distracted. I'm doing this one time only. Alright. So, you heard from my mutual. I wish I could be able to call my other mutuals. And for those that are currently listening, understand and know that this is currently live on YouTube, Kick, and Twitter directly. If you're inside the space, you can click on Live on X right now and go to Talbot Spotting, Buying the Full Farm, and you can look at the video portion of this stream. For those that are simply looking... Oop, give me 1 second. Request to speak. Approve. For those that are currently listening and looking, you can go right now. Welcome back. You can go
Hello.
Welcome back. You can go right now to the other side of the broadcast and see what's going to be going on in the video. Now, full disclosure, we're not telling you to go out and do this behavior yourself. I don't want to see any of you giving this person more ammunition to go after other people, because he will. They're that fucking deranged. But
Indeed.
if you want to bring in all your friends and bring in all your other friends to come look at a man get exposed and get spanked live on camera by two dads, one black and Cajun, the other white and suburban, feel
I get
free
mistaken
to
for
do
black
so.
sometimes, though. Apparently I get mistaken for black sometimes, though. I don't know if that counts.
You get mistaken for black. I get mistaken for white. Everybody's fine.
Oh, jeez.
Remember, that's the reason why Renfamous was mad at me, because she literally thought that I was impersonating somebody else for my white friend so he could use my identity. That's lore for another time, chat. Don't worry about that. But anyways, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Kick. We're live on Twitter directly. Those that are here inside of the audio portion of Buying the Full Farm, you can click on Live on X, and you can go to the video portion that is currently being hosted right now on the platform. Simple, easy, sweet. You don't have to do extra work. You don't need to do the extra material for yourself and jump on each person. Just simply sit back, kick up your feet, and watch. Because all of this is already on the internet. Because unfortunately...
Yeah, it's been on for a while.
Because unfortunately, or rather in our case, fortunately, I didn't have to do extra research to get you the details for this person. Instead, this individual is already being looked after by Kiwi Farms. So, despite how unhinged some of the current users of Kiwi Farms can be, because the internet, I'm sure you can agree, Ma, has become a lot meaner in the last 5 years. Especially since COVID.
Oh, yeah.
The internet's gotten a lot meaner, and also the platform itself got a lot meaner.
Yeah, the whole... Oh, go ahead.
There are people that are dedicated. I use the word chaos gremlin, but really the correct term to call them is cow tippers. There are cow tippers, kind of like this guy, who believe that it's their job to do the work that people like myself will do for you. That they have to insert themselves into it and jump onto the bandwagon. And unfortunately, what that does in this situation is that it makes the situation not as serious as it should be. Because this stalking has been going on for years. For years, this guy has been laying into multiple female associates. Because it's not just Tina. I pre-read some of the thread. There are other mutuals of ours that are in there. and some that aren't mentioned that he's been personally taking on as well.
Yeah, if it's a female, he does tend to get more vicious about it. Obviously, not all of them are females because I'm one of them.
Yes.
I don't know. I think Kuzi Costanza is a male too. I actually don't know that now that I mention that. But yeah, he certainly goes after the females quite a bit more and more viciously. As you know, I hate to use the word incel because it's been so bastardized, but like it's just yeah, it's as one does when you have the mentality that this guy has. I don't know.
I would use the word incel in this case only because it is very clear to me that Talbot's goal is to use social anonymity and the constant feature of being a thorn in the side of any person who doesn't know how to handle this to be able to perpetually harass them in perpetuity. One second, I'm hearing more people telling me that they can't hear me.
Hey, by the way, how's my sound? When I was on a phone call with the missus, she said that I was chopping up a bunch. Is that the case with me?
Sometimes, but you're just cutting in and out, not really all that much.
Okay.
Something in my voice program was physically deafening my microphone. Interesting. Very interesting. It's technically still doing it. I don't know why that is. That might be my computer trying to automatically adjust my audio for some reason, and it shouldn't be doing that. That's very weird. Anyways. Let me see if I can prevent that from happening again, because I don't want to have to keep going back and forth with my settings. People telling me that something's low, because this is a one-night only affair. I've recently had, well, recently would be a couple, like 4 to 3 months ago. I'm sure you're aware of one of our other mutuals, Lost Lenor.
Is that a question to me?
Yes.
Lost Lenor.
Pink hair.
That's
drinks and draws.
Art
life.
Yes, that does sound familiar. I'm not sure if I'm following her. Should I follow her?
Yes.
Okay, let me look and see.
Lost Lenor, a few months back, was dealing with her own lolcow stalker, who decided he was going to impersonate federal and state agents where he lives, while posting and reposting images of guns that either he owns, but is too much of a coward to show on tape, or, as I exposed and demonstrated in said live stream, still live on my channel, by the way, them taking pictures of guns that were posted on places like Facebook, and then attempting to impersonate the person who posted said image, and completely easily back searchable image that I exposed on the spot, and attempting to use those images to intimidate other people to make them scared of him. I confronted him live on camera. This individual bitched up the second my moderators and I jumped in on top of him, and we exposed him for what he was. And he annoyed me enough that I actually called in a Fed favor. They gave me a hit back on that. He is either
it's almost ready, buddy.
He is now either running and dodging the police, trying to escape being captured because you posted live on Twitter.com. They can easily triangulate where your account's coming from because you put data in to pay for Twitter Blue. Genius! And 2, the sheer fact that one of the images was literally being stolen from Facebook's Spaces for him to then impersonate it as though it was his own physical material was the highest beautiful chef's kiss on top of the dessert. So, this individual is pretty much the same type of person. Only difference is that that was an unhinged individual who, you know, they play tough and act tough. This guy has a documented paper trail. And the thing that I know for the years that I've been a broadcaster is that when the way that you deal with a stalker like this is you just expose it out where anybody can see it and you make it a sheer open opportunity. That's why I don't want any person going out there and acting like an anti-hero. I don't want any of you going out there trying to insert yourself into it. You don't need to do it. I and Ma have already inserted ourselves into it enough. All you need to do is the easiest part to do, which is spreading it around. The next time, it is still doing it. I don't know why that is. The next time an individual goes around trying to actively push themselves into places they don't need to go, into things that they don't need to be a part of, into places that they don't need to speak for, and they do this behavior as a way to try and control who they want to antagonize, the correct result is for you to find the material where they're already being exposed, which is this broadcast live today. And the next time this person shows up, you send him the link to that footage. It's gonna do two things. First off, because we're already mocking him in a place that he can't control, there won't be a single thing he can do about it. There's possibly a chance the reason it's being toggled is because noise suppression was being lowered by Twitter. I think if I turned the session off, it shouldn't be increasing the noise suppression. But it'll do two things. One, it's gonna bring attention to everybody. Nope, it's still doing it. I'm looking at the meter being screwed with physically. I don't know why that is. It will bring people to go to the place in question that they need to go to in order for them to have the material on hand to know what's being discussed. Because there are going to be people who are going to try to gatekeep the information, to try and milk as much attention out of this as possible. So pretty much all the attention that's currently going around right now, alongside people like Pirate Software, which is the live stream I'm doing after this one, that's one reason. The second reason is because it's going to put that attention to a place where people know who he is and what he's doing, so that you can be able to then contact the authorities. And we don't have to deal with this problem anymore. It'll just be something for us to laugh at. And a third thing that it'll do, even though that's not the point of what we're here for, because this stream is not monetized. I don't want you all giving me money for doing this, because this is not about making a bully stream to bully someone, although that is technically what we're doing. The third thing it's going to do is it's going to give everybody the ability to really understand how easy it is to solve these problems live on camera and live on air, because many of these people are cowards. They will never go live. They will never go live. They will never go to the people that they are harassing. They are never going to confront them anywhere that they are choosing to stalk them. They are cowards. So dragging them into the sunlight is the best disinfectant to not deal with it anymore. And granted, although most of us know how we feel about Kiwi Farms, this is a situation where this is at least a benefit. This is at least a benefit to Kiwi Farms existing, because they already did the research. You don't need to do extra research. It's all here in the thread. So we're going to go through it, and we're going to read it out. Don't you worry. So, share out the stream to whoever it's relevant to. If you have been victimized, or you know somebody who's been victimized by Nikolas Talbot, let them know. I've already sent out messages for Lift Queen, who has a better direct method to get to Tina, because I don't know if she's looking right now, because she's either at work or dealing with problems, because she's got real issues dealing with, because she's a medical examiner and shit, that she won't be able to deal with it right now, because I know that she deactivated her account just to get some time and a break away from this. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell everybody about Nikolas Talbot and how much of a bitch he is. And if he gets mad about it, we warned you to back the fuck off. So everything that's happening is your fucking fault. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, bitch. You wanted attention? Now you got it. Let's begin. Nicholas Marshall Talbot, also known as It's Not So Talbot, Halloween 664, L5, Natsu Tweet, Natsu the King, Chunk Norwitz, Moss Gump, Moss 111, Moyer Volnak, Truth Teller 20, Josh XXXXXX, Kiwi Farms Josh, and Josh Renault Ent, and many other names that he chooses to use to impersonate other people, is a lolcow that has been stalking people on Twitter.com since the last time I clocked him. Personally, for me, I think 2017 was when I first noticed, and there's always been a couple of other different types of harassers that have cycled in and out, but he's the most common one.
Quick question.
Yes.
Is that when he started harassing Tina in 2017, or is Tina not the first?
Tina, to my knowledge, is not the first, because he's also been stalking other people that are mutuals of ours. Some who no longer use the platform, and some who are now on different accounts, like Sophia Norwitz. And Norwitz is in here too.
Norwitz I know. Oh yeah, Norwitz I know. And who else?
Sometimes he harasses random people that are females that are inside of our mutual connections. Sometimes he gets mocked by, and he hasn't been around since, which is half the reason I think a lot of these guys are getting bolder. He will try to go back and forth with people like Panda, Loping, our gay furry who likes posting Bowsercock, who hasn't been around for a bit. He'll go in with people who are mutuals of mine. He'll go in with people who are mutuals of people like Poe, Young Posif. That's Dead Scribe, the Undead Scribe, Living Scribe to some of you on his current account. He'll go in with people like Aimbot Amy, who's another one of my mutuals. Pretty much any person who's inside of this sphere of influence that we have amongst ourselves as just casual content creators, influencers, and just Twitter users that exist on the platform, he'll go at all of us.
I know who Aimbot Amy is. Yeah, that I didn't realize he was going after Poe and Panda. It seems like those two people, like they give less of a they give less of an F than I do. So
in the case of people like Panda, it's more like Panda will make fun of him the way that most of us that are Tard wranglers and Tard babysitters will on the platform. You know, they'll engage a conversation, we'll have to walk them through the reason why their post and their point is retarded, and then they'll get angry and we'll have to walk them through why their anger is unjustified and why they're still retarded, and they'll keep mindlessly replying, feeding us content to make fun of them, because they're not very smart people.
No.
But in case, ladies and gentlemen, this 18-second clip was a video that was sent to Maw that I had him send to me that I then realized came from the Kiwi Farms thread. So, enjoy. This is exactly the behavior that Talbot chooses to do in his personal time. I know what you needed. I do what you want to press. I know, feel my bass, beating just for you. So, Nikolas Marshall Talbot, who lives in Spokane Valley, Washington, is a lover of Genshin Impact. And the thing that you need to understand is that this is not a normal love of Genshin Impact. This man is, unironically, playing, if he is not outright, a lolicon when it comes to his like and desire of some small, cute anime girls.
Now, real quick, if you don't mind, because like I know a vague amount about Genshin Impact. I hear it's like a gacha game, and I hear that it's like a lot about. There's a lot of anime waifus in there. From what I understand, Genshin Impact tends to have a lot of characters that cater to the lolicon crowd. Is that true, or is it just the lolicon crowd is the most vocal about Genshin Impact?
It's three things at once. So the first thing is that Genshin Impact is designed to be cute. So the people who are fans of VTubers, who call them their Oshis, which is their personal favorite VTuber, they are people who will frequent and play games like this. Honkai Star Impact, or is it Third Rail? I don't play these games myself, but I know of them because I played games similar to them. Like Devil Down Liberation, which is a part of the Shin Megami Tensei universe. But Zenith Zone Zero, Infinity Nikki, Love in Deep Space, Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, all of these games are similar in the fact that they have an audience that they're catering to. It's not an audience of pedophiles. It's not an audience of lolicons. It's an audience of people who are basically anime and cute thing adjacent. Yeah. They like the characters for different reasons than people like Nikolas Talbot.
Yeah. But from what I understand, like there's a an extremely vocal minority of people like Nick Talbot and other kind of flavors like him who have given Genshin Impact a bad reputation because of the type of people they are, right? But I have no desire. From what I understood, when I first saw Genshin Impact, it looked like Breath of the Wild, but with anime girls.
Yes.
Which, it sounds like a funny concept, or like a cute concept, but like, I'm a man in my 30s. Mm-hmm. I kind of lost that interest a long time ago. So,
You'll be surprised to know that a lot of the fans of these games are also men and women who are in their 30s.
Oh yeah, I am not surprised to know that. I don't know. You know this. Things start changing when you have kids. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like perspectives wildly change, and that was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Like
Anyway, never mind. I just realized maybe it hasn't changed for you. Maybe I'm just.
No, it definitely has. I have had moments where I've had to fight my child for time and attention and affection with my woman, and then had to catch myself and realize I'm dead ass fucking feuding with a fucking baby. Because
how old is your kid?
um
Generally, how old is
Zulian
he or
is
she?
Zulian is basically 2 now, and next year he'll be 3.
Oh, oh wow, yeah, from 2 to 3, big jumps in things they could do. That's exciting.
So ultimately, like at the end of the day, for me as a content creator, I'm of 3 different minds. I'm of the mind of a content creator. I'm the mind of an ex-fed whose general way of letting off steam was basically getting to see how the other half lives. And then there's me as an individual. All 3 of them are pretty much in agreement that the problem isn't the games and it's not the game's audience. It's the people that are basically skinwalkers that want to convince you that they're just a normal person, and they're nowhere near normal. Now, in the case of gotcha games, in the chat right now on YouTube, one of my users are saying that it's basically strip clubs to a certain extent, and it depends because there's multiple games that are like this. In the case of the ones that he's fans of, Genshin Impact basically is a game that has cute and adult and somewhat hypersexualized versions of what you would expect with characters. Think The First Descendant versus something like MapleStory, which is baby's first MMORPG. They have vastly, widely different audiences for what they're meant to be consumptive for. And for the people that are playing things like Genshin Impact, if they really, really wanted to play a game that was meant to be lolicon goonerbait, they would go do something like Blue Archive. Or they'd be looking for something very, very explicit and very specific on the deep web. Not the dark web, but the deep web, using the Onion Tor browser to access it. They are the vocal minority that, comparative to, I'm sure you've heard of the term before, at least in meme format, hoodweebs, the users that started getting into anime during COVID that had no understanding or appreciation for the genre, but they only specifically liked aura farming animes that specialized in basically lack of story, no emotional impact, but it's just, whoa, the main character's OP, whoa, surrounded by women that are just bouncing and buxom and shit. They are like them. They're a very loud vocal minority that nobody likes and everybody is aware exists and pretty much ignores the existence of, because most of them are people that are just whales. They pay to the game so that they can have access to the material, so that somehow they are able to get a benefit from spending a lot of money going in and out of the fandom. And that is what Talbot is. He's just a fucking he's a lolcow that to get joy, to duck other people's yum, and to forget about how miserable his own life is. He makes other people miserable while basically sitting in his room with a Helga shrine or an Olga shrine from Hey Arnold, or the picture of Einstein inside of Dexter's Laboratory's high school, or rather middle school closet, saying, "Please, waifu, please make my existence less miserable so that I can make that miserable cow pay." That's who Talbot is. He's a miserable little loser who has not a lot of things to look forward to in his life. So to forget about how miserable his life is, and instead of working on the things that he should, which I would specialize is lolcow-like, as well as incel-like, he chooses to get his value in the world out of antagonizing people who are doing something with their lives. Whether it be me, whether it be you, whether it be people like Lenor, or it be people like Tina. And he specializes in picking on people like Tina because it gets him more attention when he does it, and he can see, this is the key part, he can see how he affects her mentally. He can witness his actions have immediate feedback. And that immediate feedback is what he craves. So as long as he gets just enough attention to see that, yeah, I might be a loser, but I can still make you miserable. Our goal here today is to just remind him that there's nothing impressive about him. What I ultimately want for this person is I want him to look at himself in the mirror the same way that I and a bunch of other people did while we were having our own problems with individuals trying to attack us, and say, this shit ain't fucking doing anything for me. And Joe, do something with your life that's actually important. Really, some of you would rather him do something worse than that, but I'm not like the rest of you. This is just me talking. This is my opinion. My opinion is that he needs to be given the push to do some actual cleaning of his room and changing of his life. In order to do that, he needs to be embarrassed in a live stream audience bigger than he's ever seen before, because it's the amount of attention he's getting that is responsible for what causes this. Because if it's too little, it'll just egg him on to continue getting the attention, because the attention is what feeds him. If it's too much to the point where it's not necessarily enough, he's just going to blame this on Tina. So instead, it needs to come from another source. It needs to come from another person. So that is ultimately what Talbot is. It's not the video game. He's just a bad person. He uses the video game to justify getting involved with his behavior. And this is his wake up moment. That makes sense, Ma? Oh no, it broke again. Give him a second, ladies and gentlemen. He is DMing me. There you go. He's requesting to speak again. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it all makes perfect sense. I'll say a couple other things, and then I got to dip.
Go ahead.
One of the things, I don't know if you saw my final post, because I just decided to delete all the things, just with all his pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already hopped on 2 of his burner accounts and is already blaming Tina and someone else. My cynical side says, like, there's nothing that's gonna make him stop. This is just something that it's kind of drilled into his brain. Unless, barring divine intervention from Christ himself, which is 100% possible. I think it doesn't seem like there's anyone in his life that is going to put the reins on him. I don't know how his parents are, but anyway, as far as I'm concerned, Nikolas is just getting hidden and blocked for the rest of his life.
Yes.
I don't. I'm trying to figure out how to put this. I'm not going to. I don't condone threats and harassment. But if there's just some sort of way that he can, what's it called? I don't know. Just reap consequences, then, that will make him realize he needs to change his ways.
Yes.
That's really all that I need. But
yes.
Anyway, I've got like 100 different things I got to do. We've got plans for the 4th of July, and so I got to start packing that up.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for having me on, Carl. Thank you. I think most of the people that I see in the Twitter thing are people who follow me. Thanks for stopping by. Mm-hmm. But yeah, unfortunately, I have to go. I've been kind of standing around for too long. I need to start doing things.
Oh,
all right. You take care as always, man.
You too, buddy.
Goodbye.
Yeah, everyone, that is the Ebony Maw. You can be able to follow him at the Ebony Maw on X. Follow him, follow me, follow anyone you want. The chat is sending you off with great regards and big love, big thanks. Now, for benefit of my microphone settings, assuming that it's being done by Brave, I'm going to bring down the Twitter space, because this Twitter space was put up so that Maw could be able to speak his piece on the matter. For the rest of you, lock the fuck in, because I'm going to be doing this until it's time to go do the other thing. So for those of you that are currently inside of the voice space, I invite you to go to either youtube.com/singleplayercarl, kick.com/singleplayercarl, or to the X broadcast that is currently live on X right now, so you can watch along with what's being said and done. Thank you kindly. Thank you for your time, people on X. I will see you all around, and if you feel like sending me and giving me a like and giving me whatever you want, feel free to do so. I do not entreat you to do it just because. Do it if you want to. It's super good. It is what it is. All right, then. Now let's get into this ass, chat. Let's get in this ass. For me, this has been a long time coming. I'm tired of seeing this shit. I'm tired of hearing about it, so he's finna get it. He's finna get it. Because I can keep seeing my device property keeps getting slid up and down. I don't know why that is. Let's see if it keeps doing it even though I'm talking right now. Test, 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 test. Doesn't seem to be triggering anymore. I don't know why Brave is lowering my internal mic settings. That's very weird. But now I know that happens. Anyways, back on with the music. Cough, cough. Hello everyone, this thread is a friendly reminder of why you use unique usernames when registering on Kiwi Farms or anywhere in general, especially if you plan on insulting everyone around you while posting embarrassing information about yourself and being a degenerate on Discord and harassing innocent people all day. User It's Not Talbot, along with everyone else involved in this Discord, I'm not reading that word, are here to provide direct examples as to what happens when you fail to heed this advice. In their pursuit of getting revenge against literal children for saying they don't like Genshin Impact, a name that is notoriously tied to Lolicon, something pedophiles wink wink goon to, Nikolas and his group have collectively made over 5,000 alt accounts. 5,000 alt accounts! 5,000! 5,000 alt accounts. He don't do shit but just stream like this all day, so you know he ain't got nothing better else to do, chat. 5,000 alt accounts solely to stalk and harass their very targets, or, quote, trolls. The accounts harassing the targets through means of doxing, sending porn to the children's parents, obvious impersonation, rape threats, sexual fan fiction, spending thousands of dollars on sending useless bots to increase Twitter follower counts for the reason, and they say, Kiwi Farms says, for some reason. The reason is because follower accounts that are flagged as having fraudulent account signature are then deboosted in the algorithm. Thus, they are targeting and isolating their targets, so they have no ability to reach out and prevent it from happening to them. It's like if a big, literally who streamer decided to put their thumb on somebody like myself. Usually the response would be, it's not a streamer, it's not a streamer. But ultimately, in this case, it's moderately large people being harassed by lunatics that basically have no day job and somehow the infinite money to do this resource. Doing chargeback frauds, as well as other things of this kind. Keep in mind, many of the victims of this behavior are literal children, and it's obvious that harassing children is retarded and gay. However, Nikolas Talbot serves as a perfect example of why personal army requests can never end well. Nikolas Marshall Talbot, also known as It's Not Talbot, and many more stock account aliases, it wouldn't be an understatement to say in the hundreds, is an unemployed 31-year-old man with an extreme Genshin Impact obsession. It cannot be understated how much this man obsesses over Genshin Impact, as this man will attempt to ruin the life of anyone who has a mild negative opinion about him or about this game. Alongside Genshin Impact, Nikolas has a very keen interest in children's cartoons, rape, urinals and toilets, and a mishmash of other autistic, schizophrenic, and sociopathic interests. On top of being obsessive, Nick is a man with an extremely thin skin, who is entirely incapable of ignoring people who mildly poke at him or use the mildest insult against him, especially evident in how much time he spends picking fights with random strangers, even when they have never directly interacted with him before, and attempting to rally personal armies through personal army requests against his enemies, leading the farms nicknaming him General Talbot. When a user makes a smart decision to simply block and not engage with his childish temper tantrums, he is prone to creating an extreme amount of sock puppets to demand you unblock his main account and his other sock puppets. To demonstrate this for you, I'm going to show you this live on the platform. Over on top of this screen here, you can be able to see what I'm about to show you. I'm going to type in actually Tina. And I'm going to list it out by the names of people that come up. As you can see here, all of these right here are all his accounts. This individual is not the only person who acts and behaves like this. Actually, Tina rapes Hispanic girls. Actually, Tina is a Holocaust denier. Actually, Tina needs to bleep living. Actually, one Tina. Actually, Tina is a pedophile that assaulted Talbot. Actually, Tina's Vexed Moments. Actually, Tina has a diaper fetish. Actually, Tina unblocked Chunk Spree. Actually, Tina's Vexed Moments on another account. And they're all Tina's face. This kind of behavior happens all the time to several people. But unfortunately, most of us would not know about it because people like Tina are very nice-natured and don't have it in them to do with this kind of bullshit direct on. So, I'm here to do it for him. I'm not being Captain Save-A-Ho, I'm being Lieutenant Getting That Ass. And that's what we're doing today. So, in the case that someone attempts to say, no, that's not what he does, and he attempts to lie on another sock account, here it is, right there, right there. You can look for it right now, because he's doing it to any person he's choosing to target. Because, boy, I wish you'd do it to me. You will get the swiftest form of starve for your attention possible. It will not be funny. Running gags, running gags, running gags. Continuing on. Hell, sometimes the reason why he begins to stalk and harass someone isn't even possible to discern due to how random and illogical this, I'm not reading that word, can be at times. Merely reacting to his posts and saying, that's crazy, is enough to set him off. This is a very text-heavy OP, but since Nick is an unhinged retard with too much time on his hands, and he's also very boring and heavily repetitive, so think of it more as a retrospective on Nick and a general outline of his behavior and a shitpost, but mainly a shitpost. While reading this OP, keep in mind that this is retroactive. Although it was believed that Nick would be a funny one-off incident, he has become far more unhinged and retarded since his thread started in late September 2023, and his mental state has only gotten tremendously worse over time, and completely deteriorated into schizophrenic nonsense, with some interesting individuals coming out of the woodwork in this tale of love and war. The main reason why Nikolas Talbot is known to the farms is due to his attempt to rally a personal army against Punk Spree, a 14-year-old black pooner who made fun of Nikolas. That's right, this blank is completely butt-broken and felted by a 14-year-old who called him a pedophile and bullied him for playing Genshin Impact. After his PA request was denied and Nick was told to kill himself, his original PA's request was then converted into a dedicated lolcow thread. Inside of this, you can have a bunch of information about his early life. Most of this information we're not going to be reading and going through, because where we're going to be going is much further down here, inside the sections as we start getting into names. But we will be doing an overview of this. I'm just simply scrolling down to show you exactly how big this first post on the original post actually is. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going, and now we finally hit the first of the mentions of the people that he's talking to. If you look closely, you might even be able to see some of your mutuals there. It's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit that we have to go through, and I won't have all the time to do all that. And ultimately, at the end of the day, outside of the fact of the other people who are uptight here, namely the individuals that are part of Plum Discord, we're focusing solely on Nikolas. If you truly are desperate to read that much, you can go to Kiwi Farms yourself and read the thread in its totality. However, we'll be focusing specifically on Talbot and not the Plum Tree Discord. So, let us begin. Understand that the people victimized in question includes such people as, or such other individuals as, Herbert Kenneth Kuacha, Dansburg Studios that many of you may remember from Little Wee Cuckling Starlight, who decided he was going to make a Discord server full of pedophiles as a way to learn from pedophiles how to pedorate himself onto children. Wheelchair bound, actively doing everything possible to actually believe that people like Talbot, who were impersonating people like Noel, Joshua Moon, of the farms, was in fact the real Noel and not an impersonator. You'll also see such figures such as Sean Patrick Tomlinson, Stealthy Geek. You'll also see other people that are inside of his orbit who are known for being deranged individuals themselves, such as Elaine Jertler Miller, also known as Pissminge, a person who is completely stuck inside of going on and off again with their own Spurg Free interacting with him. As well as Colton Marshall Lockman, which is Amanda Marie Lockman, Just Vato 95. And of course, what brings us here, people choosing to get inside of the sphere of influence to get his attention on people like Tina, seen here in one of his posts. The likes of Tiffany Skylar Johnson, also known as Soli Willow, Emo Boy Fucker 69, who is themselves a BV schizoid gal. However, these are just simply the lolcow crossovers. Let's get into the material. Early life. Nick's early life is a point of contention between a lot of users because there's no snap that could have been found really that turned a seemingly normal child into the Genshin Impact playing harasser and schizophrenic pedophile that we all know today. The most that we can be able to account for are several posts that Nick made where he power levels about his life and divulges all such types of details about his upbringing. Nick, however, is a liar, so we can't know for sure what is deemed true about his past. The best that we can do for you is give a compilation. From what he has shared online, Nick has always been a whiny, I'm not reading that word, that nobody can stand, which should have been bullied way more while he was growing up. Nikolas Marshall Talbot, being born on November 5th, 1993, in Washington State to Michelle and Richard Talbot. As a child, Nick was nicknamed the Big Boy, and even had a birthday shout-out on the November 5th, 1994, in the Spokesman Review, where he was sent birthday wishes from his grandparents, Aunt Kim and Uncle Neil. For high school, he would then attend Central Valley High School, as we can see here from the clippings. He would then graduate high school in 2012, but beyond this, he has not pursued higher education or gotten a job because he is an unemployed retard. It also be revealed that in his late 20s, he was still required permission from his mother to buy his video games, because he doesn't know how to manage his money. Because of course he doesn't. Because he's an unemployed retard. Nick's parents would then agree to split up in 2008, where it has been shown that Richard Talbot has a different address where he lives from since then, and Richard having remarried and having another wife known as Shawnee Talbot. The divorce having affected Nick, where he would then post on Reddit where he revealed some details about his childhood and his father, claiming to be emotionally and mentally abused by Richard, whom he then calls an alcoholic. From his account, it's not to Talbot. I, 27 male, was a similar situation growing up. My dad was an alcoholic and mentally emotionally abused me. Luckily, I opened up to him about it after he chose drinking plans over what we had on my 18th birthday, and we're closer now more than ever. It still affects me to this day. I admittedly don't have much self-worth or much self-confidence, like we didn't already know this. Water. Water's delicious. I was told everything that I did wrong and screamed at constantly for being a normal child. It definitely has affected my relationships. I hate it for those that have been with it. It was never their fault. I kept to myself a lot. I was always there for them when they needed me, but I just had such massive trust issues that it's such incredibly hard to let people in to actually help me at all. I know it was all on me and nothing they did. Luckily, breakups have been clean because I understand my faults. Edit. I know I'm responding to a comment from over 20 days ago, but just kind of scrolling and trying to learn what I can do better from other people's experiences, just so I have something in my back pocket. Nick being so worthless that his own father would rather drink over celebrating Nick's 18th birthday. Nick apparently being scolded for being a normal kid and keeping to himself a lot, gaining massive trust issues, and having difficulty with relationships as a result. Given Nick's current behavior online, many have expressed that Nick's father was right to bully him, and probably didn't beat him enough. That's their opinion, not mine. Nick's father seemingly left the family for some point after leaving Nick, an unemployed loser, to live with his mother, who is apparently not in good health and stuck with a failure of a son who can't adequately take care of her. Nick's dad isn't the only person who thinks that Nick is an obnoxious, annoying child, as revealed when Nick on Reddit had been showed that he was ghosted by multiple friend groups who wanted nothing to do with him, even after Nick tried apologizing and making amends for it, with the links archived on the page. Talbot would then confirm that he would then continue whining about his father and talking about how he went to therapy for his trauma. Your boyfriend and I have the same responses. Mentally, emotionally abused his own child by my dad, blah 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 blah. And then I hate myself talking about past traumas more than the abuse because it brings back the memories. I'm the kind of person who hates making other people worry about me, so I'm all for opening up. I'm 27 and getting better about it, but trauma's been so hard to don't take it personally. I have a tendency to quick-witted, self-depreciating comments on some comments, just not use them to a point that it's a trauma response, at least for myself. Yeah, he's the same age, you won't see how great he is, makes me so sad because he thinks he's worth a lost cause, blah 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 blah, which then leads to... I honestly God, I've said the same thing in the last month. I have a therapist, but my prior trauma is so deep that it's going to take a long time to work out. Add on depression and anxiety, and I have a very good idea about how he feels. I can only speak for myself, but just being there for him would mean the world. Admitting that one needs therapy is difficult, especially as a man. We are so often taught that we just have to deal with our problems on our own. Not saying that all men are taught this, but many are, and it sucks. Should it surprise anybody that he is the kind of individual who will say these things and then act the way that he does on the platform and on the timeline? You shouldn't be, because of course he is! Unsurprisingly, Nick would then mention him being bullied in school and claiming to have attempted to kill himself. Unfortunately for all of us, his attempts were not successful. Those are not my words, they are the words of the users that I'm reading and quoting on Kiwi Farms. As a person who was bullied all through school, I can tell you this. Do what makes you happy. If you keep getting picked on, do what makes you happy. It'll only hurt the burlies more if you do that. Once you get out of high school, you will not care what other people think anymore. Except that's not true, because he continues to still do that in his life now. Archives added as well. Regarding Nick's trauma, he definitely has anger issues, as seen in multiple Reddit posts where he gets mad at random people for no fucking reason. Often over that, like video games. Social life, little lady. I golf 5 times a week. Came from 1830 to 230, to 2030. 6 days a week. I'm old enough for you to be my grandfather. Have more hours of Duke Nukem than you do in every game you own. Hey Einstein, I'm a 29-year-old guy calling you out for being a prick. Nothing more, nothing less. And I highly doubt that you have over 400 hours in Duke Nukem. And if you do, that's not the flex you think it is. So pipe down. Apparently, Nick broke his monitor over a game of fucking Destiny. I don't usually get that salty. On the plus side, breaking that monitor made me upgrade to a 4K and an Xbox One X, so I guess it worked out in the end. With more examples of Nick's Reddit rage posts shown here. Okay, gonna insult the bot, because why not? Thank you, but fuck you, bot. You're a piece of shit. I sincerely hope they IP banning your ass. I honestly can't stand people who willingly cheat in games. They're not serious enough to warrant cheating. Doubly so to ruin fun for others, like you said you do so to yourself. So for that, fuck off. And, politically, Nick claims that he voted for Trump and enjoys mocking SJWs. So many false assumptions. I actually voted Trump, so you can kiss my ass there, schlong schniffer. Man, unironically said, blood unironically said, schlong schniffer chat, schlong schniffer. Talking about some, you know what I'm saying? That's wild! You can kiss my ass there, schlong schniffer. If I lose, I lose. It's a video game and its stats has no effect on my daily life. So go ahead and put your COD stats on the resume and see how far that gets you in the real world. The fact you think like that about a video game speaks volumes about you, but you and your fragile ego can stay on your safe station. Safe station. That's a good one, chat. We should steal that. Safe station. Everyone else will enjoy playing with one another. Have fun being an isolationist over at Sony. Nah, fuck being politically correct. What happened to sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Bring on the downvotes. I'm tired of holding that. Damn, it felt good, brah. Interestingly, despite claiming to be a Trump voting judge, Nick would later become a massive simp for couples and a train chaser. Nick is also not very financially responsible, as in 2014, Nick was sued by Valiant Tire Collection because he's a poor, lazy, not reading that word, that's stupid enough to have unpaid credit card debt. It should be important that he never actually paid the full amount and didn't pay anything until 4 years later, because of course he couldn't. Reading here, plaintiff, Peter Enterprises Incorporated, through its agent, hereby enter this partial satisfaction of judgment for the money judgment in the amount of $1,219.62 entered in this court, and then after applying, the proper credits and balance remaining unpaid will be $694.57. Owing almost still in its totality about $2,200-$2,300 in unpaid back taxes on credit cards, but you got time to harass women on the internet. That's wild. Keep this payback debt in mind for later, chat. Another one of Nick's biggest interests is video games, mainly playing FPS games such as Destiny and Overwatch, even briefly streaming on Twitch, with their following being a clip from one of the Talbot Overwatch streams that he did, known as the 42-1 Tourborn Defense. Let's pause this for a second, and let's listen.
If you don't hear it, I'd be worried. Sorry, there's a little dog upstairs that was above me. Cute little thing. It's just going crazy. Just hear the pitter patter of its paws. Yeah. Stand behind a wall or up high.
Fast forwarding a bit.
Ah, I gotcha. Sorry for the breathing. You're good. I don't know if you guys can hear me still or not.
Fast forwarding a bit.
Oh, well, didn't know that happened.
You'll notice that he's not the biggest personality and talker. Moving forward. Jeez. This now brings us to the section about his love of Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is an anime RPG gacha game developed by MiHoYo and HoYoverse, with Impact being notorious for being perceived as having a prolific infestation of pedophiles within its community due to all the lolly characters that are present in the game, to the point that it's a stereotype that Genshin Impact players are pedophiles. Unfortunately, however, people like Mr. Talbot prove that there's a lot of credence to the stereotype, seemingly being Nick's favorite video game as he's fucking obsessed with the game, and will spurg out anyone being critical of his Genshin waifus. Nick in particular fits the Genshin pedo stereotype perfectly, due to his love of several lovely Genshin characters, such as when Nick made his PA request on the forums. One of his main complaints against Punk was their assertion that every Impact player that likes Klee is a pedophile. For those that need to know, this is what Klee looks like. Small, cute, small girl. Those that are familiar with content such as Spy X Family, very similar to that of Anya. Same build, same personality type. Anything that can be seen as cute, basically. But Nick's love of Key goes far beyond just finding her cute, being noted that Nick has a piss fetish and a urinal fetish. As demonstrated later on the OP, Nick has an obsession with urinals and loves repeating the phrase "holy urinal," writing fan fictions about involving urinals and posting pictures of people on the toilet. Combined with his fetish and love of Klee, on his Nikolas account, Nick would repost an image of Klee sitting on a toilet that he found on Reddit. I'm sorry to do it to you, chat, but it is part of the tarring and feathering. Look at it! 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 SpongeBob, you need to look at it! It should also be noted that even other Genshin Impact players on Reddit took issue with the Klee emote and they themselves found it creepy. No, just no. Ah yes, I definitely do not remember asking for this. But why though? What the? How dare you put our adorable Klee theme with a toilet bowl? Dropping bombs! I'll see myself out. What is this cursed shit? Yes, that's right. Nick is a master degenerate even by the Impact standards. When confronted about posting an image of Klee on the toilet on the farms, Talbot will reply by posting a picture of actress America Ferrera sitting on the toilet. Oh, yeah, but okay, but why did you save the picture of the child on the toilet? I have a picture of America Ferrera. Klee isn't the only example of Nick liking Genshin Impacts. As on Reddit, he called Kui, another lolly Impact character, adorable. Happy Kui is too damn adorable. And for reference, this excuse me, is what Kui looks like. She is designed in the style of a Jakshin, basically a Korean jumping ghost. The ones that have a symbol and a talisman on their face that do this. You might have seen it on some old versions of content featuring things from the era of early short period Sentai made by Toei. Now, While Nick loves the childlike characters of Genshin Impact, he absolutely hates children who have the audacity to interrupt Talbot from gooning, aka playing, his gacha game uninterrupted. Part of Nick's extreme obsession with this shitty game is that he will absolutely lose his fucking shit at anyone who insults the game or its fanbase. Prior to Talbot's arrival on the farms, he was something of an own retard within several Genshin Impact discords due to main reasons. The first being that Talbot is an incredibly thin-skinned person, leading to people like Punkspree trolling him because he's easy to get a reaction out of. The second being that Talbot is an obsessive stalker and will relentlessly whine and go after his perceived enemies, as is the case of why this livestream is happening today. Talbot's activity on these Discord servers not only serves as an early example of his insane behavior that he would later become known for, but also sets the stage for his eventual arrival on the farms. In one Impact server called Genshin Impact Tavern, Talbot would make several posts where he whines about being doxxed and harassed by a troll of his named Punkspree, claiming he wants to be left alone so that he can fap to his lollies. I mean, enjoy playing Genshin Impact in peace. Talbot also shows his dismal understanding of ops security, because he also foolishly confirms his face docs from his Facebook account in the server, subsequently having a game of tic-tac-toe played on it. It's me, Natsu. Bro, I literally don't care about you. I don't think about you. Leave me alone. I can DM about it. I'm going back to what I was doing. I'm done with this. I just don't care, bro. And what you can see inside of that is that it's a list of accounts that have been blocked by him. A user by the name of Dragon Striker 89 hits him up with a what? Earlier above, sitting up with it, is this person in chat or someone who's been harassing and stalking me, alongside making lies with no proof of any claims. Leading to the picture, I quite literally don't care about any of this. Believe it's all what you want. I have proof behind my claims. Well, I don't have any reason to block, so I'm just annoyed by this man is all. You should really include proof here before making serious claims like that, especially in a channel where it isn't appropriate to share it in. He literally has none. True. I'm not going to take anyone's side here, but like, you know, maybe don't chase someone down in a Genshin server all places without proof. Crying emoji. I know for a fact because I have proof of him doxing those exact claims and worse. Do you have proof, bro? I don't know why the fuck y'all trying to cancel a Twitter user on a Flexer channel. Mo! It's actually on my Facebook page that a stalker took a screenshot of and is blackmailing me with the original message that was deleted, with a person then showing the image in question of exactly what you thought he would look like, featuring someone saying, "That's you?" User Amia posting, "No way that's you." What the fuck? Now I feel bad. Next image shows, you know, instead of going through the page that I don't have linked anywhere, cool, now show where I linked it. He goes to the other guy's Facebook post, the highlighted name. Oh, that makes sense now. I wish I had a bigger pillow, bro. Sure, though you did find people to go visit your Facebook earlier, so I'd still say that it's on you. Woohoo! I didn't do shit. That wasn't even me posting it. And then more posts coming from other people. No, Natsu Talbot responding, "Rest well. Handle for now. I know the song and dance. I've been in my daily life for a month, but I do appreciate it fully. You guys in Genshin Official have always been helpful during this. Yeah, I just ignore his existence, report and move on. Yeah, it's alright. It's a big server and you have a life. It's another one of those days. Will probably happen as soon again later tomorrow or something. He didn't hack into anything. He's just using my name to drag me through the mud. He's been doing all this over a month." Now, you know what I find interesting about that, chat? You know what I find interesting about that? Hey, Talbot. Do you see that the behavior that you're complaining about is the same behavior that you're doing? Have you noticed that? I noticed that. You know what would help you in those situations? Both past, present, and eventually in the future? You could stop what you're doing. Yeah. Instead, once again, chat, it's just another case example of the bullied becoming the bully. Because he believes that's going to make them stronger. Many such cases, chat. Many such cases. Now, it's one thing to whine about this in some random Discord Genshin server, but Talbot's activity in the official Genshin Impact Discord, the one that actually is managed by Horrorbush and its employees, puts anything he did in the tavern to shame. Of course, on his main Discord account, Talbot would again whine about getting stalked and harassed, while also claiming he was merely trying to expose the sick behavior from his troll Punkspree. Now, Nick would eventually get his main Discord account banned from the official Genshin Impact server Discord on September 17, 2023. This wasn't because the mods were colluding with Nick's enemies, but instead that because Nick's trolls like Punkspree were minors, and Nick was saying and acting very inappropriately towards them over minor fucking trolling, which for an official Discord server is a very bad look. With the mods also having transcripts, so it's not like they couldn't see what Nick was saying, even if his messages were deleted, with this being pointed out in the server. Red. Cotton Candy. Genshin haters made lies about him and said he was inappropriate around minors. First of all, mods have transcripts of everything that was said on this server. They wouldn't ban someone on false pretext for saying bad things to minors if they didn't have proof in transcripts. Even deleted messages can be seen. Just remember, this is a company server, not some fan-made server. Mods take things here professionally. This is not a fan-made server where bans are lighthearted jokes. Now you'd think this would be the end, but no. It was merely the beginning. So, if your main account on Discord gets banned, if your main account on the Discord you like to frequent gets banned, what do? Well, most normal people in this situation would probably make an alt account, try to lay low, and carry on. Nick could have easily done this, but apparently the idea that his main account was banned was an injustice that Mr. Talbot just could not stand for. Thus, Nikolas Talbot began to do what he's known for doing best, which is sucking! Shortly after the ban of his main account, a new account would be made to join the official Discord, asking if Natsu Talbot could be unbanned. Now, it's maybe suspicious that a brand new account would immediately ask for it unban someone who literally a retard that no one ever knew or cared about. So naturally, everyone assumed that it was Nick Sock, as though he would claim that he was actually just Nick's friend. And then, starting on September 19, 2023, he would return with multiple other socks that would then begin to brigade the server and ask for him to be unbanned. One particular sock in question, LLL, catches your eye because Nick, once again, showing his aptitude for his operational security, would rather reuse this alias for his first Kiwi Farms sock, LLLLL, or L3. At many users of the Discord were just extremely confused by the random socks coming in and asking for a random user to be banned. However, the server would eventually figure out who Talbot was and what he was trying to do. Then mentioned by one of the mods by name. No, some random motherfucker who got banned and called his LLL came here to complain about being banned. Crying emoji. And in turn, Nick would become a meme inside the official Genshin import server, as can be shown here. No guys, you don't get it. Natsu's presence here is very fundamental to the Genshin Impact Discord server. Natsu the streamer? Who in the world is this Natsu person? Rather than continue to feed the Natsu convo, can y'all just go to contact mods? Eventually this guy will grow out of wanting to be here. Just let the mods handle it. This Natsu thing is going on for the past 14 hours. This bro's not giving up. What the Cypher Stalkers just did to Nafu. And so, also, this Natsu guy could just make an alt and name it not Natsu, which to me in that memeology, even those mods didn't notice. Can people help unban Natsu Talbot? He's completely innocent. He's the one who's the victim. These Natsu! Who is Natsu? For the blind, he's the vision. For the hungry, he's the chef. For the thirsty, he is the water. If Natsu thinks, I agree. If Natsu speaks, I'm listening. If Natsu has one fan, it is me. If Natsu has no fans, I don't exist. Okay, I need a quick resume of who and what Natsu did, because I don't remember that guy. No, guys, you don't get it. His presence is necessary for the Discord server. We don't care about Natsu Talbot. We don't care about Natsu Talbot. Why does Natsu want to go back to the server? I don't know myself. I just want to know why he's asking. Don't care. Didn't ask about the Tinkaton guy. Dude, the whole situation is over. Let it pass. Stop crying over spilled milk. I love when I'm allergic to air. No, please shut up. You're cringe. Cringe. Who is Natsu Talbot? Come on, guys. Let's be nice. These Natsu. Some guy, I don't know. Who is Natsu and what did he do? Crying emoji me. I don't know, but this dude makes me hate him. Oh my god, this is so cringe. These Natsu. Who even is Natsu? I demand Natsu Talbot be released from Discord jail. Natsu deserved that ban, not gonna lie. Who is Natsu Talbot? It probably is the Natsu guy. I don't know why anyone would care enough to make alts to get someone unbanned from the Discord server, except the ban guy himself. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's this guy again. He's been spamming shit to unban the Natsu fella. Who the fuck is Natsu Talbot? Oh, hi, Natsu. I missed your L3 account. Good night, y'all. Can't wait to see whatever another Natsu alt is tomorrow. Natsu. Wait. You don't love we like you love you. Wait. No, we don't love you like you love you. So now. Who is Natsu Talbot? Please, somebody tell me who Natsu Talbot is. Maybe you need a cool name like Natsu Talbot. I bet it's Nazi Talbot, bro. I bet to know what is Nazi Talbot, bro. A Mao crying emoji, a Mao! No way, guys. It's Nazi Talbot's all Amazon delivery. Here's all the detention he ordered. I searched Nazi trying to check if this is the same guy. How do you know that name for that person? Nah, it ain't no way. Ain't no way. I don't know who the fuck Nazi Talbot is, bro. Oh my god. What? Are you in front of Nazis all this time? Who knows? It's the same Nazi with people trying to get him unbanned. I remember the culprit. Ah, yes. Nazi-san. On that rainy evening and off topic. Who even is this Nazi guy you guys are talking about? Guys, is it me or does this person have Nazi vibes? And so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. So, to recap, for those that are unaware of who he is and what he does, this is the information of the main Discord account of Nazi Talbot. This is the username. This is the ID. Or, in your off time, I want you to take this number. I want you to make sure to ban that from the server. Preemptively. I'm going to put that in mod chat for you. If I don't do it myself. 855 9 7 1 0 6 4 2 3 1 7 7 2 3 7. I might just end up doing it myself right now. 1 second. No appeal. And post. And yep, that bans Nazi Talbot from my server. And here are all the socks that he made, just asking for the account to be unbanned. We've got Cotton Candy, Valkyrie, Yukinari, Valerie, Peachy Creams, and LLL, Fairy Dust 19991, that are members of guilds such as Genshin Impact Emote, the Tea House, Bikini Bottom, and no other known accounts. Now, this episode of Talbot making a little army of sock accounts just to beg for his precious main account to be unbanned and set the record straight about how he's actually a persecuted victim is retarded enough as it is. But this is merely the beginning. Keep in mind, going forward, as many of the tactics that General Talbot has displayed here, they would exist, but then get carried over into his future campaigns. With the mockery that he received on Discord ultimately proving too much for Nikolas, who would eventually leave the server and go to other websites to complain, such as Twitter and Kiwi Farms. Liking a character that looks like a toddler just to make me a pedophile. She's actually 3,000 years old. Genshin Impact isn't for pedophiles. It's not. KYS pedofag. And if Nikolas Marshall Talbot, not too Talbot, had WhatsApp. Null, Redacted, Kiwi Farms, 00, Genshin Impact Official Discord, Klee. Many such cases. Having been bested by the troublesome punk spree on Discord, Nikolas Talbot decided he would instead go to find new allies in his crusade against a literal middle schooler. Coincidentally, around this time, after being nearly on tour only due to drop Kiwi Farms have returned to the ClearNet. Seeing the return of the infamous Kiwi Farms and presuming that WAPO articles about it said that it was the transgender murder website and buying into the perception of the site as a dedicated harassment forum full of rabid trolls frothing out the mouth and itching just to bully people, Nick figured this would be the perfect ideal place to recruit his own personal army. Therefore, General Talbot would register an account under It's Not to Talbot on Kiwi Farms on September 30th, 2023, and almost immediately going to the training slideshows of social media mega thread in the Stink Ditch board and make a post playing to Kiwis to help in his dastardly campaign to attack Punk Spree. Soon after posting this, moderator 00 would confront Talbot and chastise him for attempting to get Kiwi Farms into his personal attack dogs, pointing out the hypocrisy of complaining about harassment while simultaneously asking for people to harass somebody on his behalf, and deleting Talbot's post for delayering his thread. 00 would then tell Talbot that he could try his luck making a proper thread on Punk with actual evidence in the Prospering Grounds to prove if the person was actually worthy of a thread post, although he was warned that reception that he would receive in the mega thread would more than likely be the same on the Prospering Grounds. as reads here. It's so wrong of me to be upset and want justice against somebody who's been harassing and cyberstalking me, my friends, and an entire fandom for months apparently. And I'm older than her, so yes, I can be on this site. Need I remind you that she calls other minors pedophiles for playing Genshin Impact and liking the characters and sending them gore while stalking and threatening them. She said extremely violent and sexual threats to people too, including animals. What is justice here actually? Us laughing at pictures of her? That won't change anything, nor will it stop her from bothering you. And justice for what? For saying mean things about you on the internet? So you want us to do the same thing back to her? These are rhetorical questions, by the way. You're derailing this thread too much. This is a personal matter. We're not interested in helping you with personal matters because we have little gain for it, and we don't exactly have high standards beyond what is interesting. If you think she is interesting, then make a thread proving it in the Prospering Grounds. But you'll more likely just get people mirroring what I've said, just except much less politely. Thus, posting the link to the Proving Grounds, post screen craps of the threats, how she interacts with people, and what she does. You don't need to have personal information on her as long as it's entertaining. Even if she's entertaining because you agree with her in her disruptive behavior, that'll still be enough to justify a thread. As long as you keep framing it in the context that you needed help because she's specifically annoying you, nobody will have any interest. You're siding with this sick, I'm not reading that word, freak, claiming that a 15-year-old is a pedophile over a fictional character who's clearly distinguished from a real one. Said, I'm not reading that word, has also sent gore of said character being beaten up and brutally killed. If it is lusting over a fictional child doesn't matter, according to you, then why would a picture of the character being killed matter? Under your logic, it's still fiction. I'm sorry, I'm no longer unconvinced. I'm actively against you. Go away. Despite 00's warnings, Talbot would decide to go to Prospering Grounds anyway and create his title saying, "Sick at the end." Not reading that word. Who's been constantly harassing me, my friends, and everyone on the Genshin Impact fandom. Not only did Talbot completely ignore 00's suggestion that he actually provides evidence and substantially substantiates against his claim against Punk, he more or less posted exactly what he posted in Mega Thread verbatim with only small detail additions that came off that made him come off as even more of a whinier lolcow. Let's read some of the rebuffs. Starting off with the choice that he used for the picture. Of course this person likes fairy tale. Of course he does. Hi, I can't seem to post threads here yet, but this is an FTM, I'm not reading that word, that goes by kick pronouns? No, really. Who's been constantly harassing me and just about every person who plays Genshin Impact, including the minors. She thinks everyone who plays the game is a pedophile, all the characters in it are fictional, and the majority of the playable characters are adults, and has called a 15-year-old and get the Genshin Impact on the official Discord as per profile for liking plea. She also goes by Punk Online and also sexually harass many Impact and players and game fans as well. I also have photos of her face and have managed to get her parents' Facebook. Really feel like this should be a good place to expose her further. She also has lied about her age, claiming to be 18 when she's actually 14. She's still rating the Genshin Impact on the official Discord server, calling all Genshin Impact pals pedophile, and sending gore to all of them as well. The photos of the minor in question are being edited out by a moderator. Naturally, the PA request from Talbot was immediately rejected, and Talbot was promptly told to stop harassing minors and to game end. From a hapless toad. Kiwi Farms personal army request. Denied. Comments. You are a fag. Well. Then, from other post histories and true and honest fans who are moderators themselves, please find the nearest rope and neck yourself. Post haste. She's 14. If you're the same age as her, you shouldn't even be here. If you're older, stop stalking kids. What's also ironic, despite Kiwi Farms' reputation, is that the farmers actually sided with the Black Pooner over Talbot. It's not to Talbot. Yeah, so there's some trans chick trolling me. Can you dox her or something? Kiwi Farms. Posting, and we don't do that shit around here, bro. Let this go ahead and show you that even though the reputation of the site exists for what it exists for, there is a history in the fact that we do not care. When I say we, I'm speaking in the past tense since I don't use the website like this anymore. I very rarely post, if ever, before. But once upon a time, Carl was a member of Kiwi Farms, but he was not a member of the ones that did the shit that they usually are known for doing. They care more about people acting like they have some common sense than trying to pick sides. They will side with transgenders when it comes to the issue of having a normal human experience and not acting like a lolcow. Even now, before we've even gotten to the details of my personal friends that he's been harassing, which was the context behind why we had Moss giving color commentary of what he's been recently doing, why it is even relevant. Yes, it goes down that deep. Talbot would then attempt to justify his personal army request in the thread, arguing that Punk was a mentally ill lolcow for being a sick FTM, I'm not reading that word, with kit pronouns who issued violent threats and called in-kinship players pedophiles, voicing his objections to the Kiwi Farmers who thought Punk was based for bullying Nick. Seen here, a long thread of complaining and whining and whining. I'm not going to read it. If you feel so to read it, please do so yourself. So, what was exactly wrong with Talbot's shitty thread? If it wasn't immediately obvious, Talbot purely fell for the common talking point against Kiwi Farms that users are just mindless trolls that look for targets to harass, rather than people who simply walk for eccentric people to document silently. Take the previously shown posts for instance. It is clear that he believes that a single individual being trans is justification enough for Kiwi Farm users to actively go out and harass them, despite the fact that interacting with anyone off-site is a bannable offense on the site, because Kiwi Farms has this rule, and the rule is no cow tipping. The same rule that I'm establishing on the content here. No cow tipping. You can watch, but you don't touch. It is a clear violation of Kiwi Farms to actively go out and harass other users in the form of cow tipping, while attempting to ape Kiwi Farms' vocabulary, where in reality, the high quantity of trans lolcows on the site is just due to the fact that the strange individuals who attract such followings like Kiwi Farms are trans through correlation and not a direct reason. He has also messed up quoting the person he was responding to because Talbot is a brainlet. He also didn't do his research before outing himself as a Genshin Impact player on Kiwi Farms, as he wasn't aware there was an entire thread dedicated to mocking the community around the game, where the players are stereotyped as pedophiles, leading to further mockery. Talbot would subsequently be mocked for liking the previously shown character Lolly Glee, but it continued to insist that Punk was worse, while mentioning that Punk spammed alt accounts. Keep that in mind for later. Talbot's PA request wouldn't be the only major fuck-up that he made to end his trip to the farms. When one registers Kiwi Farms, they are immediately greeted with a flashy warning that advises people to practice good OPSEC and not to use aliases, as they can be tied back to your real identity. This, on my account, is why I have a series that is listed as the Digital Doorstep, as I usually connect the behavior of such figures to their online personas, so that people can know who you are, because I do not believe that anonymity is allowed for people who will harass individuals non-stop behind the wall of anonymity while believing that they are a master troll. You need to have skin in the game, and considering that the people who have skin in the game are people who I know personally, and individuals who have been harassed for years because they didn't have the information to be able to know who it is, to put name to face, I'm putting boot to ass and showing you the behavior of the person in question. Now, there is docs information that is inside this post, but it will not be put on air by me. Again, if you care so much about that, if you're one of those people who are going to not heed my warning, feel free to do so yourself at your own leisure. We are simply going over the information that is posted here so that you understand the dedication of behavior that we are going through, so that when we are done, you know all you need to know, and it's only going to exist here in this, and should you want to do so, you don't need to do further research because there's already farmers that will do it for you. At best, you can go to this broadcast and you can look through this information and you can see it through this reading and you can laugh alongside of it. And whenever you see him on the timeline, you can point, laugh, and block him because that is the most effective thing that you can be able to do. Simply by joining in by blocking him so that he cannot be able to reach out his spindly fingers to harass more targets is the most effective thing that you can do to prevent him from doing this to somebody else. Continuing on. The warning reads, as posted, the point of no return. Our community is strong and cohesive, but is surrounded by people who hate us. This includes some criminals, well-funded organizations, and even governments that would take opportunities to intimidate our user base. While we encourage anyone to join, it is strongly suggested that you read our Cybersecurity 101 thread for tips how to exercise your speech both safely on and off this website. There are some rules of conduct, but none of which words you're allowed to use. Minors are not allowed in this website. Before registering, you need to understand that you should use a username that does not link to a personal identity. You should not use a real alter ego email in addresses that you can use to account your cover rater, but not one that you use on other websites that are tied to your identity. Try searching it and see what turns up. And you should not try to access this website from public networks or from speech-hostile nations without a VPN or Tor. This is the basic registration warning that has been on the website since the earliest parts of its objectation. And the fact that there are users that go out of their way to ignore this is part of the reason why people don't actually know the culture of Kiwi Farms. Although I cannot attribute to the nature of what the farms is like now, and I am by no means defending the behavior of Joshua Moon, who many of you, if you've been keeping up with this, knows is currently having a spurred free on Twitter because people are learning about his backstory around his desire to be a transgender woman. That will come at a later date. This is what we're focused on right now. Now, despite how flashing and in your face the warning is, Talbot, like countless before him and after him, would ignore this warning. As a result of this, and at the fact that his PA request got a bunch of eyes on him, Talbot's early history online was unearthed and tied back to him, with the first user, Barad Minor, being the one to demonstrate his lack of OPSEC in the easy-to-track username Hall of Shame by easily doxing him. Quote, "This is a terrible act to warn Natsubot in not using the same username everywhere else on the internet. I found this username being used on Reddit and learned how he likes to detail his father, former alcoholic, used to mentally and emotionally abuse him. Looking at the recent comment history, being newest as 10 months ago, it appears that Talbot is a sassy little thing. A bit of snooping revealed that there's a Twitter account with no activity and no followers called Natsu Talbot is a pedophile. Honestly, it sounds like a bad actor with a high chance of spouting falsehoods, but here's the unit that was used as a display picture. The following is pure speculation, but if it rings true, Natsubot, I would strongly suggest you stop using this account and create a new one if you wish to continue surfing the farms. Looking around for this username, it appears that there was a Nikolas Talbot who graduated from Central High School in 2012, which would be expected if he was 29 or 30 now. Assuming he didn't move much after graduating from Washington State High School, he might have lived somewhere in Spokane, Washington, at 20 North and West Sipwood Road. This goes to show you that most people on the internet are not retards and understand operational security, which is something that Talbot does not understand. Please keep fucking around and find out. I will call in a Fed help to get you that help you need. Which is my way of saying, if you keep fucking around with my friends, you're going to get a knock on the door from my federal agent friends. Because you've been doing it long enough that you are now harassing a person who actually has standing with her state because she is a medical examiner. And, should she want to press charges on you, you will be going to pound me into pooper prison. Not county federal jail, pound me into pooper prison. Continuing on. From there, shortly afterwards, inside of Talbot's thread, many of his other social media accounts would be quickly found and posted by other users, such as $5.3 million, as well as Null himself, with Null confirming his dox address and revealing that he also did not use a VPN, which is another recommendation in the registration warning when registering to the site that matches IP that doxed his location. I think this thread is the consequence of WAPO. They advertised this as years as a death note for tranny names online and thought that that's just how it works. And if you thought this couldn't get any worse for Talbot, it gets worse! It gets worse! Because remember, how earlier it was stated that Genshin Impact players being pedophiles was a stereotype? Well, stereotypes come from somewhere, and Talbot definitely proves that Genshin Impact players have pedo stereotypes. Shortly after being doxxed, the forums would discover his earlier online history, and the infamous reputation online as a pedophile and a serial harasser, through parody Twitter accounts that called him a pedophile, such as, Natsu Talbot is a pedophile. Natsu Talbot is a fucking vile, disgusting pedophile who threatens to assault CSA victims and stalks the Twitter of someone who has them blocked. As I showed you earlier, for the benefit of my mod, who showed up here late, I'll do it again on camera. This is what he does. He picks targets that he thinks don't fight back, and he will then make non-stop accounts about them to try to push them into feeling that they're isolated. He will send them false users and fake bot follows that will then get their accounts isolated as a problem, because Twitter, even under Elon Musk's followage and his ownership, is still a platform that it will target your account and do the same type of shadow banning procedures to you if it proceeds and believes that you are faking your ads. So, he stalks, he doxes, he antagonizes, he isolates, and he torments the targets that he wants. Just like he got targeted himself. Because he's the kind of attention-seeking loser who doesn't know when to quit and believes that the response that he should do is to become the bully instead of learning from his actions and starting over his life. Let's continue. Talbot's messages inside the Genshin Discord server, where he complained upon Punk, would expose more of his behavior. Hi, I'm not Val, but I'm asking you people to please let us deal with Peyton. Any personal info about him and his attacks on Twitter would be appreciated. I also have pictures of his ugly face saved on my phone, so it's easy to find info about him. Call me a creep for it, but this is necessary. Omega Giga Chad! Omega Female Giga Chad! Censored Giga Chad! My Twitter is Natsubot Doddle. Contact me with any personal info when you find out Peyton, aka Stupid Gay Cat with 2 T's. Also follow my Twitter, it's Natsubot, and have my name in the same name. Peyton is a genuinely evil person and needs to be attacked and have his personal information released. Peyton is a genuinely evil person who needs to be attacked and have his personal information released. Same message on 2 different dates, if it wasn't copy and pasted from the same user. Please, just help me deal with Peyton. This server has attacked me before, and I want it to happen again. His Twitter username is StupidGayCat. Please go there and attack him. He has cyberstalked and harassed me, Val, Jade, and others. Emoji. Where even the Genshin people were sick of his shit and then told him to fuck off. Would rather just get you banned for being cringe. Playing an attack on someone is against Discord TOS. And worst of all, it is reports where Talbot denounces Punk as fake trans and expresses his hope that she will be assaulted to death into prison. Let's read. You're seriously fucked with that Peyton in your server. That fucking pedophile bastard. He shouldn't even be called a he. Call her a fucking she. Cause pieces of shit like her don't deserve to be associated with the trans community. She doesn't even bother looking masculine like Semi does. She's faking being trans. This is stolen trans power. The lie is fucking coming for her. And I hope they put her in a cell where she'll be raped to death. Real shit, chat. Real shit. A man, a grown-ass adult, a grown-ass man wrote this down in all perpetuality of seriousness. Real shit, chat. Real shit. I lied to you not. Real shit. Real shit in front of your screen. This 30-year-old man, instead of just ignoring Punk and moving on with his life, stated that he hopes a fucking 14-year-old gets assaulted to death in prison over a video game. Genshin fucking Impact, of all things. It also lines up with some of his Kiwi Farms posts where he stated he didn't care if Punk was a child. Read here. All I'm saying is there's never any excuse to be as sick as Peyton. I don't care if she's only 14. Only 14. Only 14. If she's doing this now, imagine what she'll be like in 4 years. This isn't normal behavior for anyone. Genshin haters will forever always be bigger spurs than anyone who plays it. The fact you think that calling Kui is cute is pedophilia shows how fucking delusional everyone who hates Genshin Impact is. The game lives rent free in their heads. The game lives rent free in their heads. And they'll spread whatever sick lies they can, whether it be about the fans or the game itself. They say that it has racism and pedophilia, both of which can be easily debunked. On October 1st, 2023, Talbot would make his last post in the thread, trying one more time to convince the Kiwis that Punk was sick in the head, and the real villain, while Talbot was the persecuted victim that would not be left alone. It goes beyond trolling when she legitimately believes that everyone who plays Genshin Impact is some racist, evil pedophile, and sends them violent, sexual threats and gore. She even tried to dox people and send food to their houses. She tried to feed people at their houses. She threatened people's pets as well. She's extremely sick in the head and continues to embarrass herself by harassing people non-stop. People who have done nothing wrong, but play a game she happens to hate for delusional reasons. She will not leave me alone, or leave anyone else alone, and to this day continues to raid any Genshin in-store server that she can find. Sometimes other people get involved too. Naturally, nobody bought Talbot's bullshit and continued to mock him and deny his PA request. Talbot finally giving up and making a final post on his profile, which is full of messages from Kiwis telling him to kill himself, where we can try to continue to deflect the ridicule aimed at him by claiming that there are more better lolcows than some random person who plays Genshin Impact like him. There's so much better lolcows to focus on than some random person who plays Genshin Impact. Last thing I'm saying here, I'm done with this site. You aren't being bullied because you play Genshin Impact. It's for being a complete retard and a pedo. My god, are you really this fucking dense? This didn't convince anyone, and Talbot would finally fuck off from the forums on his main account. However, With Talbot's PA request against Punk's free on the Kiwi Farms being a hilarious episode after leaving the site on his main account due to being unable to handle Kiwi Farmers insulting him, many people believe that Talbot swore on the farm went in there. It would be remembered as a funny one-off incident, nothing more, with Nick, who had been humiliated and fully doxxed, maybe taking a second to reflect on his life choices up to that point and try to learn from his time on the farms and better himself as a person. Well, that's what it seemed like it was going to be until on October 15th, 2023, when an account named L5 would register and make the following post in Talbot's thread claiming that it was a dishonest to claim that Punk was innocent and that Talbot was actually being heckin' harassed. Also posting screenshots of Punk on Discord calling him pedophiles and expressing her desire to kill them as proof that Talbot was being harassed. I need more water. 1 second. Hold that thought, chat. Don't bust that nut. I'll be right back. Don't bust that nut yet, chat. We'll be right back. Busy. Your shit's already worked on. It's very dishonest to act like Punk was innocent in all the situation. They are, to this day, still making Discord alts and still harassing anyone that they can make into their own victim. A member had to leave several symbols now because of it. Keep in mind, everyone that Punk has harassed is someone who's exposed them for extremely sick behavior. Wow, small world. They've been at this for months now, even when the most of the people they've gone after have moved on. Damn, small world. Punk doesn't just do these things on Discord, but takes it to Twitter too. Damn, small world. Even attacking people who haven't directly done anything to him, but happen to be affiliated with the people who exposed him. Are you seeing any correlations here, chat? They continue to repeatedly make violent threats towards people who are their victims, as well as towards anyone or anything related to Genshin Impact itself, no matter how old Punk is. All of these things deserve some kind of consequence. Now, this random account that just registered immediately and went into a random thread within the little Genshin redirect raised several flags. When asked who he was, L5 responded, "It doesn't matter." Now, if you recall the section detailing Nick's time in the official Impact Discord server, it was clear that Nick was trying to use the same stalking techniques he employed there on the farms, even reusing an alias, as L3 was one of his Discord stalks. And Talbot's stock answer of "doesn't matter" was the one that he gave the Discord users asking who he was. Having fooled no one, Talbot was told to fuck off, and game end again. Undeterred, Talbot made another post asking Kiwi Farm members to reconsider Nick's thread and posted the same screenshots that somehow prove that Punk is evil and is innocent. And as he was marked as a obvious sock, he was quickly marked as a delete fucking everything risk. Shown here at the top of the post on October 15th, 2023. He would also insist that he wasn't Nick, even though by this point the jig was completely up. One amusing post they would make is that doxing is a felony, to try and shame the Kiwis for doxing Nick earlier. And another thing, doxing is a felony, regardless of the age of the person who does it. It's not some normal quirky teenage behavior. It's one of the sociopaths. Jack Films and Critical have explained this themselves, and have done a pretty good job. First of all, it's obvious that reposting public information is not a felony, and the only reason it was so easy for Kiwi Farms to find Talbot's information is because he is a fucking idiot who keeps reusing the same username everywhere that also includes part of his legal name. Second, by his own retarded logic, what Talbot is attempting to do to Punk was also a felony, and therefore, he was a complete hypocrite. Talbot would finally post a link to one of his Punk's free sock accounts of Twitter, posting proof as Punk's sick behavior before leaving the forum again. And after Talbot left Kiwi Farms for a second time, out of curiosity, user Mr. Mint would follow the Twitter account L5, linked in the last post. Saying Mr. Mint following Talbot's Twitter sock, the real Punk Spree got into contact with Mr. Mint, assuming that he was possibly sent by somebody to follow Talbot's sock account. On October 17, 2023, Mr. Mint would make a post in Talbot's thread where he detailed the discussion that he then had with Punk Spree. Well, this was unexpected, as I'm not the only one known for cow tipping, but tonight a cow tipped me, or rather, a cow's target tipped me. I decided to follow the account listed in the bio of the account that L3 dropped on here as proof, only following the thread casually, so I didn't realize the account belonged to the very Genshin hater that we were called upon to personal army. Base Zoomer messaged me, asking if they had anyone put me up to following them, a response that gets conditioned into you by when being stalked by a 30-year-old man for several months because you badmouth his uwu game, I would imagine. I explained that nobody did, and I only followed because I felt that Natsu Talbot is a faggot, and I was following any account associated with him. With a vicious lolly hater Zoomer agreeing with my findings and gave me the information, much of which might already be known, I don't know. Base Zoomer's parents were sent anime porn. I don't know the content of it, and I didn't want to ask. Like a true Spurglord, if anyone messes with him and his friends or his lollies, he swings around his legal dick and threatens with court action. With the post reading, "Legal action is on the board, kid! Leave us alone! No! You've been the one harassing and stalking us! You are projecting what you've done to us! We have proof. You have committed libel. Either leave us alone, or things will not go your way. I know you will see this." I asked what caused this Spurgout feud. I was in a couple of Discord servers at one point that he and his friends were in. I always kind of enjoyed messing with them, so I wanted to kind of join the private server that they had to see how long they would tolerate me before they snapped. Ever since then, I've kind of been just addicted to messing with them because they have such a strong reaction every single time. I asked if Nick ever tried flirting, or if his meltdown was based on some kind of rejection. BZ confirmed he did not. This is actually all because his lolly game was besmirched. Nick and friends have an army of burning accounts that they always do very little other than attacking whoever they just ass-blasted this week. Nick's friends are Neurons, Valerie, Adden, Boyle, and Midnight. Usernames being Mitzi, Neurons, Dead Island, Stanley, Alien the Great, and Poppy T. I don't know if they have weird punctuation in the username or if BC just uses weird punctuation. Nick and his friends frequently make judgments on how attractive Base Zoomer's body is. Ew! Disgusting! Nasty! Why are you looking at a 14-year-old at the time like that, bro? Very weird, very interesting, but very weird. BZ said, their eyes are so used to seeing that Gollum-ass body type from Genshin Midpact, the game legit has no other body type aside from that and weird lolly stuff. I gave them a security advice and then I went on my leave. Before leaving, Base Zoomer also said, I also do mess with his friends too because they act the same as him when this happens. And the fact that each and every time they respond and react, like a little, especially when they've dealt with trauma and people are trolling them in the past, you'd think that they would just not. But they react and reply each and every time without fail, which is kind of the main reason why I do it. Spoken like a true farmer. And this is why Natsu Talbot is a lolcow and Base Zoomer is not. Punk Spree would reveal more information about Talbot's harassment of her, including the fact that Nick sent animated porn to Punk Spree's parents and that Nick also had his friend assisting him in the campaigns against Genshin haters. Beyond that, Mr. Mint gave Punk Spree some cybersecurity advice. But what about Talbot? What was he up to? Well, he had left Kiwi Farms, his threat had continued to grow as more people would join in on mocking him and digging up his online past. It was evident that Talbot's time on the forums had completely buck-broken him, as Talbot would proceed to spend an entire year creating hundreds of sock Twitter accounts, impersonating various Kiwi Farms users and targets of his, while making thousands of posts about cinephobic nonsense. With the later parts of this OP covering Talbot's Twitter activity, but to summarize, anyone following him could see his mental state decline in real time. Talbot would eventually return to Kiwi Farms a year later on October 31st, 2024, mainly shitting up the forums, spam-pinging random users that he had developed schizophrenic obsessions over, and continued to post proof that Punk was a pedophile. With Talbot's 24 activity on the forums covered in more detail on later parts of the OP, but when had his main accounts, he would generally be a disrupted faggot who would continue to post about Punk or be a schizophrenic Twitter ramblings, which often got him permanently banned from threads. Third banned. This, it tried to make a thread about a 12-year-old trans-identified black Genshin Impact player because she called him a pedophile. During his 2024 farm spurgouts, Talbot would occur a couple of temporary bans, but finally permanently banned from Kiwi Farms on December 3rd, 2024, due to repeatedly posting a CSAM picture of Punk wearing a chest binder. Seen here. One of his friends is named after Genshin Impact character, as I've said before. Bro, that's a child! Now, those of you would notice that that is not the image of what you can obviously see. That is because the image itself was edited by a moderator. So, moderators on Kiwi Farms had to censor the picture of them looking at a 14-year-old, or at this point I think they'd be 15, but still, minor, with a picture of themselves wearing a chest binder. I don't know how they got the image, I don't necessarily care, but please do keep in mind, this is the level of spurg we're dealing with. What is the name of the music in the background, bro? I like it. It is Rules Card Hip Shop. Hip Hop Remix. Focus. Any and all pictures, any and all music that can be found inside of my Discord under the music playlist section for those that are interested. But that is the name of the material. Moving on. Like with his initial PA request, the mods remove the images of Punk wearing his chest binder and replace them. And yes, this pedophile does keep pictures of a literal child on his phone and spam posts at them. Here is another example of him posting saved pictures of Punk inside of his thread. Seen here. Unedited. Inappropriate is a subject term. You haven't posted messages showing them inappropriately, only messages statements from third parties. They are a minor again, so we have no documentation of your claim that Peyton made sexual comments. Harassing Hal. Sending free stuff to them? Oh wow, wish they harassed me too. Doxing isn't a crime. Maybe it's less retarded telling people where you live and your legal name. Then posting pictures of 2 fingers doing this. And horny jail, just slapped my nipple on accident, but it fell out kind of ... ellipses. Good. These messages are not directed towards any specific person. They are a fucking horny teenager and a sexual assault victim. What is your excuse? Brain damage? You saved that? Keep trying to beat those pedophile allegations. Keep trying to beat them pedophile allegations, boy! Absolutely horrific. Never beating the pedophile allegations. Whitnall summing up Talbot's time on the Kiwi Farms night quite nicely. The pedo is not welcome here. Which then leads us to General Talbot's Stalking and Stalking Boot Camp! This is written in very, very light green. I'll have to highlight this for you to see it. The Art of Total Retard War. Hey you! Yes you! You want to enlist and become a member of General Talbot's personal army? Well, step right up to the General Stalking Boot Camp! Wait, this is the wrong music in the background. 1 second. We need a different soundtrack for this section. Not that one. That one. That'll work. Hey you! Yes you! Do you want to enlist and become a member of General Talbot's personal army? Well, step right up to the General Stalkings and Stalking Boot Camp, and you too can masterfully wage total retard war against middle schoolers that bully you online! With this section detailing General Talbot's patented online stalking and stalking tactics that teach you how to spot a Talbot sock. Step 1. Learn how to spot your Talbot sock. Creating Twitter socks is a personal Talbot main tactic when waging total retard warfare online, with several key detailed traits to look out for when spotting a Talbot sock. The following being a handicrafted guide noted by Talbot Sock Spotter, Square Nerd, to identify how to see Nick's sock accounts. 1. The people that the sock are targeting are the same people that other socks have targeted in the past, such as Actually Tina, Punk, Sophia Noctwitz, or many of the other people that Nick will target in the past, which in the future might include my black ass. 2. The words holy unusual are in the account's bio, or there are a bunch of accounts discussing urinal shit in general, because Nick has a urinal piss fetish. 3. The sock account makes posts with fanfiction or YouTube content that posts and consists of a few clips of a cartoon with titles that include the target's name, usually the threatening of violence on them, and other content, such as Valerie, Actually Tina gets attacked by lava, Social Credits misses the plane, I still bombed Art's bike, Fat of LC makes a fake fail on I have not I and key. Fat of LC splashes boob of tribe, special yard, Astrodirt, and Twinklephrenia. Boob of tribe misses the bus. Nat Mems gets bees in the mouth. Dimitri Monroe beats up Twinkle Schizophrenia and steals his wallet. I take up Twinklephrenia into the water. Boob of tribe gets shredded by the plane. Dundee 2 and other steals tries to run away from trolleys and gets crushed by them. Comet Lover Mari eats Boogatoos pie. Emo Black Girl 420 rides around the mall on a massage chair. As well as Emo Boy Fucker 69. It's 3:30 a.m. and guess what? Admiral Nikolas is continuing to write about himself. I'm such a sleuth. From account XX Josh XXXX, also known as Jesse, including Thormiris, voice acted by Sean Austin. Absorb, Sub-Zero, the majestic veins within my member, symbols of potency. So Nikolas, you're quite detailed. Every vein telling a story of my strength, Sub-Zero. My autistic fury curses within them. I didn't expect it to anime lessons. Knowledge is power, Sub-Zero. Understand my member's might. The scene, a public restroom. Admiral Thormiris standing at a urinal. The pressures of commanding the USS Autistic Fury are immense. Another day, another drama-filled threat on Kiwi Farms. Why can't they see my genius? A sudden noise startles them from behind. Whoa, easy there. Don't want to steal my, strategic fluids. And other such content. 4. The name of the sock has the name of the person it's targeting, such as Ashley Tina's best moments or Sophia Norwitz's best moments. Also, the word chunk is often used in the sock names. 5. The sock is named Moss Coast, followed by a number. These are the accounts that Nick makes once in a while to mass at dozens of people, including the people he's harassing, as well as random people that he has chosen to attack out of the blue, including the likes of Get Down New Jeans, One Rad G, which is the account name of I Am Griffineer for anybody who doesn't know about other lolcows, such as I Am Griffineer. Phony OTC, Ordinary Gamers, Yini McBeanie, The Arctic Menace, Inky of Crates, Beyond the Scarlets, Big Art Reel, Twoodle Score, Book of Tribe, Antifa Constanza, Jennifer Alls is Real, Ruggy Scruggy, Ashley Tina, Wave Prism, and Kirby Cheat Furby. 6. The sock is simping for couples / I'm not going to dead name them, so I'll instead say the name that they've chosen, which is Clara Sorrenti. 7. The sock is insulting Vivzipop and declaring that she is not Latina, because for some reason, Nick really hates her. 8. The socks contain posts and words like schizopedo, Genshin pedo, chunk spree, and are calling people transphobic and or Genshin haters. The sock is demanding 9. That people unblock a random account, even if the account isn't owned by Nick or is a random person. 10. The sock is posting the same bunch of Discord screenshots that Nick loves to use to prove that Punk is a pedo or something. 11. The sock post consists of screenshots showing Nick buying bots with a target account with the caption following enjoy, which shows you yet again the reason why he probably has all that goddamn credit card debt, because he goes into debt buying Twitter bots so he can harass people on the internet. Twitter isn't the only source for, he isn't the only front of General Talbot's total retard war, as the General has also attacked and stalked Kiwi Farmers after his main account was permanently banned for posting CSAM of Punk Spree. On Kiwi Farms, General Talbot employs similar tactics when creating stalker accounts, which ranges from either copying Twitter stalker accounts he's made, or making references to his schizophrenic ramblings, such as Sean Ashton, or impersonating existing QRers, with current following examples being some of the following bots in the Kiwi Farm socks, such as Lyle the Muslim Reaper, Real Actually Tina, The Evil Simpsons, Liddy Drip, Judd Holden, Autistic Right, and Hey Johnny Bravo, amongst others. If you're familiar with how Talbot socks on Twitter, spotting his queer socks is quite easy, as they can be identified using the same 11 guidelines. But what does Talbot do with his Kiwi Sock Farms? The main thing that Nick does with his Kiwi socks is spamming stickers and degrading posts. Nick will usually target posts that either are directly related to him or are from users that he doesn't like. Sometimes, Nick will even just negrate. Negrate is another way of saying necro post. Random posts without any rhyme or reason, but generally sticking to posts that are at least tangentially related to him and whatever lolcows that he orbits. And of course, it should be noted, on Kiwi Farms, unlike Reddit, stickers are absolutely fucking meaningless, so the worst Talbot archives achieves with his spamming is mild annoyance. Although he mainly spams stickers, Talbot sometimes even makes posts with one of his various farm socks, which is usually PA requests against Punk or someone else that he's targeting, such as, "Hey everyone, it's me again, Punk aka Ryle River. I just wanted to tell you that I like your Talbot thread. This whole thread was just me framing Amanda. I love gay ops." From account name Retardio AF. well as Aquinas 2 being responded by you two. It's okay that you're angry with the Discord, you know that. I understand the screenshots were confusing, especially with the censors and being unsure what Punk said. But I, Zoe, am here. Zoe is here to ask you why you think everyone doesn't like Punk as a creep. Nick's Kiwi Farms socks are incredibly short-lived, as when he masturbates posts, he immediately exposes himself and is subsequently completely nuked by the mods. As Nick is an attention whore, it is advised that instead of shitting up Nick's profile post with the messages telling himself to game end or applying to his socks, you should just report him and let the mods delete his accounts. Nothing of value is lost. Earlier, it was also mentioned that one of General Talbot's favorite tactics to employ against his enemies is to buy a bunch of bots on one of his Twitter followers' accounts, presumably because he believes that having a ton of bot followers will get the account reported and banned, which in many cases was the case in old Twitter, but not the case in Elon's Twitter, but it does get it shadow banned in a form where it becomes hard to interact. This tactic hasn't proved very effective, as most of the time the bots are just deleted, leaving the target account completely intact, but this hasn't deterred General Talbot at all. However, another question arises, which is, where is General Talbot getting the money to buy these bot accounts? As an unemployed loser who spends all day making stock accounts on Twitter, one has to wonder where General Talbot secures the funds for his military operations. Well, worry not, for the General has revealed the secret source behind the bot funding. He commits chargeback fraud! That's right! Chargeback fraud! General Talbot, presumably using his own mother's credit card, blatantly admits to committing chargeback fraud to buy bots for all of his Twitter enemies, with the following being Nick admitting on one of his Twitter socks that he commits the chargeback fraud. Against Actually Tina, you did nothing wrong. Please take care of yourself and be kind to yourself. By the way, you can just buy shit and charge back. The same thing goes with crypto. You can also buy with gift cards, or you can choose to pay the latter option, or use Google Pay, which gives a lot of rewards. Why are you such a retard? Actually, Tina, I earn Google Pay rewards every single day, and I know how to charge back or choose pay later when I have all the money I need, and I can use the Google Pay to buy crypto too. And by the way, other people can contribute money whenever, so shut the fuck up. Tina, you should realize that people can just give chargebacks and pay later when buying shit, or that they can use Google Pay, which offers more money and rewards. Stop being retarded. There's nothing you can do to not get suspended. Actually, Tina, stop being retarded. There's no running out of money, especially when you can pay for shit with Google Pay, which offers many rewards, a chargeback, and pay later. Committing felony fraud because a woman was mean to me once. Replying to Unvarnished Void, Jimothy Snap, Lilith Levitt, and Actually Tina. Stop being retarded, there's no running out of money. I said I could! Not that I did do it, dumbass! I haven't done it! Thus falling afoul of the rules that defines him not only as a lol cow, not only as a horror cow, not only as a stalker, but also as a AIDS pig! Of course it's fucking retarded to admit to committing a crime, such as chargeback fraud, or in public for all to see, and when confronted on it, Nick walks back his admission by clarifying that he could clearly just admit the charge fact if he wanted to, not necessarily that he did, ignoring the fact that he posted screenshots showing that he purchased the bots for his targets, as seen before, up on the additional section, where it shows him on the page buying them on Thunderclap. Not exactly your brightest moment. Not exactly your brightest moment, huh? Like, damn, nigga. Damn, nigga, my job real easy for me. Wow. Fucking wow. They should probably charge you more for your credit fraud. Making your mom's life hard because you being a fucking retard online. That's crazy. But we're not done here yet. And of course, this leads to his total retard war! While Punk 3 may be Target's arch nemesis, she is far from the only enemy that Nick has. In the course of Talbot waging total retard war against a little middle schooler, Talbot has made plenty of other enemies along the way, most of them being from Twitter, but he would eventually develop schizophrenic obsessions over Kiwi Farm users who continued posting about him in his threads after his disastrous personal army request. With this section detailing some of the Talbot's main enemies and his notable fights with them, which are mostly one-sided affairs, with Talbot screaming to the board. Starting with Sophia Norwitz, our favorite transgender on the battlefront lines, out there doing the rail trail reporting that then gets stolen by other people, which requires us to have to slime for a motherfucker about 1 or 2 times a year. One of Talbot's earliest known Twitter feuds would be with Sophia Norwitz. Surprising to some, as Sophia is transgender and Nick is a known tranny chaser and ardent defender of devils. Norwitz does have a Kiwi Farms account under Sophia Norwitz 0747, which may possibly be another factor for why Talbot chose to target them. Starting on November 12th, 2023, Nick would begin making several Norwich song accounts that looked like this, such as Sophia Norwich, best moments. And just to confirm whether or not it's there or not, I'm going to go looking for it personally. Give me 1 second. That's a typo. Oh no. So yes, there are several hundred of them. There are several hundred of them. Sabbath knock. Now they all reuse the same picture either in grayscale or in sepia tone, but they are in fact there, chat. They are in fact there. Lord have fucking mercy, bro. Lord have fucking mercy. Cough. On November 13th, 2023, Sophia would post in Talbot's Kiwi Farms threads sharing information about all the sucks that Nick had been creating. Hola, long time no see, dweebs. Anyways, question for all of you who have spent far more time on the subject than me. Please excuse the tweet X bombardment. But are all of these from the same group of people? Lastly, is a certain bald furry at all associated with them? Because years ago, when I first got tied into the person impersonating Poof in their weirdly obsessive YouTube videos, the channel was originally called Nerd Skull for a month or so, and sadly, I have no screenshot of this, so I don't know if that was part of the troll or a slip-up that I happened to catch. Likewise, it seems that the Balls Poof account that is tied to the newest person because the weird stuff about the Pixar movie is reminiscent of something new accounts are saying about Wish. I'm so baffled by this multi-year-long schizo obsession. Oh, one more thing. Does this person at all tie into this? Because they have a weird obsession with me too, and some of what they said reminds me of this other stuff. The main reason Nick went after Sophia Norwich is because, unlike Kevils, Norwich is against giving HRE hormone to minors behind their parents' backs. Cough, cough. I love being a transphobic piece of shit to people online. Hi, and crying like an ugly fat bitch at night about them, and so I'm so cool, guys. Fun fact, Keffels is smarter than everyone legally recognized as retarded. Repeat after me. I am not smarter than Hassan. I am not smarter than Vosh. I am not smarter than Destiny. I am not smarter than Keffels. I am not smarter than Hinkle. But if I shut up and listen, then one day I might be. This is so pathetic. I have a video on my channel that I put 100 hours into making only to see it completely fail. It was the bombiest of bombs, and I still never wrote messages like this, or I can imagine myself doing so. God, she is so gross. Fuck the internet for making this person popular. Nick would also try to directly message Keffels. Wait, Norwich is his sock. Hi, Keffels. This is Sophia Norwich, the schizophrenic pedophile who hates you for no reason, and you made so angry right now, especially since people are making fun of me. Most of his posts with these socks would be Nick impersonating Norwich and posting other things like, I'm a schizophrenic pedophile, or I'm a mentally ill transphobe. There was an attempt to make Norwich look bad through personation, but due to how obvious his stalking looks, he basically fooled nobody, especially since many of the socks had the word chunk in their name, which is an obvious giveaway that it's Talbot. I think voting for Genshin Impact in the Game Awards is the worst thing pedophiles have done by far. Yeah, keep projecting what Impact haters like you are onto us. You guys are so actual pedophiles, not the actual pedophiles who play games or like fictional characters. I'm still a fat ass with a face and hair like a bowling ball and hair that looks like it came out of Hoyt's ass. Man, you can really see my fat stomach from here. Hi, Sophia Norwich here again to tell you all I'm a racist piece of shit who hates white people and transphobic because I actually hate trans people. White people I make especially vexed that I want all other people dead for their and to say slaves to them. He would even go on to reply against Norwich's actual Twitter account with his sock account. Norwich, Crab, 99. The crab dance, obviously. Hi, Sophia Norwich here again to tell you all I'm a racist piece of shit who hates white people and trans. Talbot would also demonstrate some of his Zeus hatred on animals for one of his Saurix knots, which is something that would then carry on over into future accounts. My cat is so fat, he just looks at me like that. That's why I love him so much. Aside from posting that I am a schizophrenic pedophile on his Norwich socks, the main thing that Nick attempted to do with these was to get these socks a Kiwi Farms thread made on for Norwich. No, I need someone else to make the thread on me, aka Sophia Norwich. A big user on Kiwi Farms needs to do it. Or maybe once I get a video made on me, I'll have my thread. Or you could stop being a lazy piece of shit and do it yourself. I'm trying to get a thread made on myself, but they won't let me do it, and that makes me sad. Nick would even spam Noel's Twitter account, begging for Norwich to get a thread. Sue them. For what? 2. How many thousands of dollars are you willing to donate to the cause? People telling me to file lawsuits might as well tell me to drone strike them. With what drone, bro? I think a lot of people, myself included, would gladly make a substantial donation towards the legal fees for ensuring a free and open internet. Hey, make sure you go on to Kiwi Farms and submit a thread for me, Sophia Norwich. I really want a thread on there, plus it's a shame if I don't get one. You can just make a thread yourself. No, I need someone else to make a thread on me, aka Sophia Norwich, a big user on Kiwi Farms need to do it. Or maybe once I get a video made of me, I'll have my own thread. Or you can stop being a lazy piece of shit and do it yourself. The messed up male prostitute that attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer is claiming in court that he was inspired by Gamergate. He said he wants to kidnap and interrogate Pelosi while wearing a unicorn costume because she's a feminist. Not a joke. Underneath the post, please make me a thread on me, Sophia Norwich. Please, I want to be the main focus of your site right now. This dude has been going on like 20 accounts on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter and keeps messaging me begging me to make a thread on Norwich. While using first-person messages like, hello, I'm a fat pedophile, please write a thread on me. He's also been registering accounts every day. This has been ongoing for like a week. I will reject any account that is obviously a gay op impersonating thing, for the record. Do you have examples? I want to laugh at this retard's attempt at gay ops. All of these ones. It is speculated about Talbot through that, if Noel himself got a lead thread on Norwich, they would have more authority if he made a personal attack on me in Quest himself and wouldn't get bullied. Which then leads to Carl's Mutual and our based Agent of the Stars, Actually Tina, seen here with mimosa in her hand during the weekend when she was feeling really loosey-goosey, right before I think there was a Master Quest update. I don't remember which MSQ it was. Actually Tina is a video game blogger who often posts her opinions on video games on Twitter. Tina being notable for how much of Talbot obsesses over her and relentlessly harasses her with their seemingly endless hordes of Twitter socks. With the first Kiwi sock being noticed by Tina, being noticed harassing Tina on October 1st, 2023. Googling his username on the images, and this is like the second result. Tina, during September 5th, 2023, locking for a couple days. Nothing's wrong or anything, I'm just getting tired of these posts constantly and hopefully that they will be able to move on to the next victim. As grim as it sounds, Twitter won't do shit about it. We want to see less posting and more chop on your wrists. Make sure you do it right. And before you're gone, I'll block www.defnotsock and it's not Talbot. She seems to be just a really active video game blog with opinions, and this guy got so ass mad about being blocked by her that he made various socks to keep telling her to kill herself. Charming. Log off, touch grass, etc. The tweet and post was found by searching Talbot's username on Google. In the tweet, dated September 5th, 2023, Tina mentions locking her account for a couple days due to being harassed by Talbot, who posted messages telling her to kill herself now and block Nick's main Twitter account. Now, this raises the question, how exactly did Tina incur the wrath of General Talbot? Well, the first post seemed to indicate that Talbot merely disagreed with her and takes on video games. That would then later reveal what set Talbot off is that she literally said, wow, that's crazy behavior, in regards to saying Talbot harassed someone else on Twitter. What did you do that angered him so much to target you? They were literally going after a particular person and I said, wow, that's crazy behavior. Literally just yet. Yes, that's right. You heard it here first. Understand it straight for what it is. He literally decided to start targeting our mutuals because they reacted and said, nigga, that's crazy! On Twitter.com! Truly unbecoming behavior of the man in this troll army. Nick would mainly accuse Tina of being a pedophile with his Twitter socks, demanding that she unblock all of his soccer accounts. On February 27, 2024, Tina calling out Talbot, telling her to leave her alone and to stop harassing other women. Nicholas Marshall Talbot, you live in a fucking Washington and stalk people online because you are a 32-year-old grown-ass man with no job who plays Genshin all day. Leave me the fuck alone and quit making alts harass me and other women. This is 6th account a day, and on accusing me of being a pedophile, having C-spam, comma. Archive. To read further, see here. Posted on February 27, 2024. Talbot would continue to harass Tina in a multitude of ways, outlined in the OP, including including spamming her with follow bots, demanding he unblocks his socks, and planning to make accounts impersonating her with names, saying that she's a rapist and making posts pretending to be her, saying that she goes after children and is a pedophile. Making fake Discord messages of Tina and then posting them on Twitter as proof. Many things which are proven true as false because many of us already have her on our personal accounts. And we know who is who. It is unbelievably stupid how badly fake these are because they don't even have the posts that need to be inside the post as a line. For our reference, assuming all of you are aware, there is a post that gets made in the timeline in which you post down what you have physically on top of your screen. There are lines that do cross sections across the frame, and whenever those are missing, like they are here on these, it's very obvious that these are faked messages. Because not only did they do this to people like Tina, not only did they do this to people like my mutuals, they also did this to other individuals on the platform, such as Kuzi Kasanza and Joe Longballs. Obviously, I will not be reading what is on the page, and that is the reason why this stream is not monetized. He would even post porn of a teenager on one of Tina's socks. And similar to Norwitz, Nick would try to message Noel on Twitter to get a thread made on Tina. And then, later, on April 12th, 2024, Nick would make his tweets on his sock accounts threatening to post Tina's docs on top of Docspin. Actually, Tina, the entirety of the Hoyoverse servers know the truth and the severity of the situation, along with the behavior of you and Peyton. I suggest both of you deactivate your accounts and stop trying to frame others while doxing them. Well, I'll be putting you here if you don't stop your shit. You've already left a massive trail of incrimination on yourself. Posting out the official Docspin telegram with the evil demon face that they have for with all their details for when they choose to go in on somebody. After making threats, he would eventually tweet that Tina has posted his docs on the website. Talbot with the Tina docs post. Actually, Tina is a known Twitter schizo who routinely has the goofiest meltdowns when people tell her to stop being a retarded bitch. Aside from being a pedophile, and in order to try and deflect on this, constantly screams and freaks out over the existence of Genshin Impact. She also has a strong cause of her being equally retarded friend Sophia Norwitz, another known pedophile who asks minors to suck her dick, yet tries to spread shit about K.E. The postings there on the post. It is known that she currently resides in Los Angeles, California, and is 32 years old of writing this. She is so insane that not even minors are spared from her retardation and will get blocked and threatenedly sexually harassed by her. Which doesn't make sense, because if she's sexually harassing them, why would she then block them, unless this would then be the rebuffing of the sexual advances? Please, somebody help this motherfucker make sense! This is stupid! Shortly after posting his entry on Tina, someone in the comments would post Nick's full legal name in the comments and his entry would be deleted. Mainly because, as a PA request, it actually violated Docspin's POS. Posted here. Content that is not allowed on Docspin. Third link, party images to underage sexual explicit materials. Pastes that don't meet our information minimum requirements, with an example such as any personal information that is specifically about children under the age of 15. Doc request. Spam. IP loggers and infected files, reposting the same copy-paste docs, and direct threats of physical harm, terroristic threats, and swatting requests. There was some speculation on whether or not Talbot's Tina docs was accurate. It turns out that it's completely wrong, because Nick is an inept retard! After Talbot's failed post on Tina on Docspin, on March 14, 2024, Kiwi Farms user Soul and Hydrax would get in contact with Tina and confirm that her OPSEC was fine. I'm relaying this on behalf... Load, motherfucker, load, motherfucker, load, motherfucker, load, motherfucker, load, motherfucker, load. I'm relaying this message from Tina, the Twitter user who's being harassed by this menace. There are people here wondering about her OPSEC and if it was good enough. 1. Tina told me that she's using a burner email for her Twitter. 2. She uses a drastically different name on there rather than her real one. 3. When she posts selfies, she makes sure to post the photos without things shown, such as windows being shown, as to not give away docs information that would be relevant to geolocation tagging. And 4. All of her other social medias are private and locked. The most that she mentioned about herself is that she does live in the Bay Area and is working at a morgue, of which there are plenty. It is obviously not foolproof, but she is sure he is dumb enough to not be able to find her with these measures. I forgot to mention this, but Christina isn't even her real name. Information her friends already know. But all of us call her Tina anyways, because she's known for using the picture of Tina from Bob's Burgers. It just stuck. Other such victims would also include Joshua Moon himself being impersonated by him on his null account, which is what brought him to our speculations here today, as well as other people, such as Admiral Cornelius Sean Aston. One of Nick's most schizophrenic spats with Kiwi Farmers involves his bizarre union with user Admiral Thumrimerus. Even though the Admiral is not the first Kiwi Farm user that Talbot fixated on being, it is notable for being the catalyst to Nick's return to the farms in 2024. So, where did it all begin? First, it should be noted that Admiral Thumrimerus has been a regular poster in Nick's thread since its inception in late 2023. Despite these posts, memes, and insults directed at Talbot, the General wouldn't really notice the Admiral until around late June, where, on June 24th, 2024, Admiral Thumrimerus would make a seemingly innocuous post commenting on weird Discord screenshots that Nick shared on Twitter with Shakespearean-sounding English, such as, "Okay, which British movie did Nikolas search and watch because this is ridiculous? Is this blank trying to be Shakespeare?" From there, Nick would begin to fixate on Admiral, first being noticed in his next batch of schizo tweets on June 25th, 2024, that Nick was definitely lurking in his thread, saw Admiral's comment about Shakespeare, and incorporated into his fake Discord screenshots, seen here. Nikolas is definitely reading this thread because yesterday Admiral Thumrimerus said he was trying to be Shakespeare, and here he is the day after using the word Shakespeare in his fake Discord messages when he wasn't doing so before. "Thy spirit as Shakespeare hath possessed me, and now I must articulate like thine great writer." Another such gay bullshit from other lolcows. It would not be until September 1st, 2024, that Nick would make his first tweet mentioning Admiral Thumrimerus, which was a bizarre tweet where Nick, pretending to be Noel, would post about watching Admiral using a urinal. From here, Nick would make several other tweets about Admiral and his uses of the urinals, from which the very long, detailed drama post that is effectively made up in his head came from. Making sure to specify that inside of the notes, that Admiral Thumrimerus was being voiced by actor Sean Astin. Farmers would then meme out Nick's retarded scripts, such as in this video, made by Radioactive Monkey Man, with art by Nugget Figure. Y'all really getting, y'all getting risky as hell with these goddamn names, bro. Y'all really getting risky as hell with these goddamn names. And now, let us give us a little listen to the dramatic reading that comes from farms themselves. Kiwi Farms, you have the floor.
The pressures of commanding the USS Autistic Fury are immense. Another day, another drama-filled thread on Kiwi Farms. Why can't they see my genius?
Nick will continue posting his retarded all-cow fiction where the Admiral was voiced by Sean Astin, with one development explaining the obsession being that Admiral Thumrimerus is so related to Nick's love of Keffels and Luke, almost caught myself, and Clara Sorrently, that Admiral Thumrimerus is notable for not only making shitpost artwork of Keffels reacted to in a live stream of his, but also having made one of the posts that made into Keffels' press kit as a violent threat. By late October 2024, another evolution in Nick's obsession would occur. Rather than just merely posting fanfiction of Admiral, Nick would be devolved into believing that Admiral was, in fact, Sean Astin. Eventually, after spurging on Twitter on Halloween of 2024, considering Nick's original Halloween-themed Nazi drag meal profile picture, Nick would return to Kiwi Farms with both his LL sock, which was then banned shortly afterwards, and his original account. He would mainly spurg out at Admiral Thumrimerus. Naturally, due to being a disruptive loser, Nick was told to fuck off and was banned shortly after, with this not being the end of Nick's return to the farms, however. When his ban expired, he would come back and search the forum for any mention of Sean Astin and reply to it pinging the Admiral, Lord of the Things. He would then annoy the rest of the forums, and then Nick banned again. He wouldn't stop spurging on Twitter either, and he would continue to spam the real Sean Astin. Eventually, on November 1st, 2024, the real Sean Astin, tired of Nick spamming him with schizophrenic, I'm not reading that word, babble, would block Nick on Twitter, causing him to spurg out and seethe. Hey, Thumrimerus, I saw that you blocked me on here. Is just Lost Lenor on Kiwi Farms too? Nick would then continue spurging and seething on Twitter and whining about Sean Astin blocking him. And eventually, after impotently spurging on Twitter, Nick would return to the forum again in early December 2024. But hurt about Sean Astin blocking him on Twitter, Talbot would incessantly spam the Admiral, who, like every other user on the forum, told Nick to kill himself. Talbot would even make a dedicated thread about Admiral's neural fetishes in PG, which eventually got blocked and spit to the purgatory. Nick would then be banned again, And this time, permanently. Although the reason for his ban was posting C-spam and funk spree, and not for spamming Admiral. Amusingly, it turned out that Nick's schizophrenic randomly at Sean Astin urinals wasn't completely without merit, as there actually was a real Sean Astin urinal experience. Around 2007, I was in the men's restroom at Disneyland, and Sean Astin, while trying to manage at least 2 young children, used the urinal next to me. As a fan, I wanted to say something, but it seemed impolite, so I just finished. Now everyone has knowledge of Sean Astin's urinal experience. And so, what do we have here? What do we have here, and what can we be able to have and show? We can now conclude that the retard wars will continue to spur on, but it will not include us. And we are truly dealing with a man who is unironically broken as hell. And therefore, that is where we're going to stop that. Because, 1, this is now rolled over into my event, and oh my god, I have blown my voice for today, so I'm going to have to delay it for tomorrow. Sorry guys. Don't worry. There will be content. That's number 1. 2, I need to go get dinner for my mother. 3, hopefully, all of this in its totality and conclusion has entertained each and every one of you here, and will give you all of the knowledge and information that you actually need to know about this material in question, and about the locale that we are making fun of. Remember, this is a person who you do not need to interact with any further than what I've already done. You only need to block them. Know who he is, know of his details, know of this stream, and retweet it and repost it to whomever you need to. But do not engage with this person. It is not worth it, and they will just do the same spurging bullshit you have just had me read to you dramatically about his actions. And totally, as a personal message from me to you, do this shit again. I am begging you. I am begging you. With the formation of tears in my eyes. Please! Please fuck around! I am begging you to fuck around! I have waited for moments like this! I have waited for moments like this! I am so sick and tired of you fucking with my friends and fucking with my mutuals! I'm not letting it happen anymore! Especially with you pushing them to try and run away from you the way that you've been recently. Please, I am begging you with tears in my eyes. Please fuck around and find out! You will find out expeditiously, expeditiously, expeditiously. Hugs and kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah. And remember, don't cry when I get in your ass. Just remember that I warned you, Ma warned you, Norwitz warned you, Tina warned you, and a bunch of other people who've already harassed in the silence warned you. This is what happens when keeping it real goes horribly wrong. Alright, chat, I need to leave. I'm going off into the world. Remember, spare your pets, call your parents and tell them you love them, and make sure your children never turn into this kind of retard, because they will always have problems. Know that he is a pedophile, know that he is egregious in the way he chooses to behave and act, and know at the end of the day that he is Nikolas Marshall Talbot, a man who is so ass broken that if I have to come back and do something again, I'm going to stretch you wide open, boy. Wide open. Open. I'm talking in it. In it. Alright. Goodbye, chat. I'm sweaty. I am sweaty.